I'm running out of time, every day goes by so fast. And every moment counts, baby, I don't wanna miss a thing. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, or hang out in hotel bars, driving somewhere in your car. We can sleep under the stars, we can sleep under the stars, under the stars.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the AMD Presents the Esports Club Showdown in association with Red Bull. It's gonna be your boy, Aggressive, joined by none other than CCV. My man, it's been such a long time. We haven't casted in a while, but hey, I'm happy to have you for the ride, and we have you for the biggest ride here as well. This is the Showdown.
Happy to
This
be
is the
here.
international tournament for the Esports Club, the first ever one that we held, and I don't know, man. I'm so excited. Like, all of the teams from all over Southeast Asia are now going to be going up against one another. You can hear it in my voice. Like, I'm giddy with the excitement. I'm nervous. I'm pumped. I'm hyped. And I'm very sure everyone back at home, they're going to be hyped as well.
That's the thing. This incorporates not only the teams from the entirety of Southeast Asia, not just South Asia, more specifically the Indian subcontinent, but we are expanding further. That means more teams, like you mentioned, and more fans of those teams. They'll be watching, they'll be cheering, and there's going to be tons of competition just by looking at the teams, just by looking at the players that have been invited. One surely gets their blood pumping in them, completely adrenaline surging through them for every single best of three. Doesn't matter if you're just starting or if it's the grand finals, every single match is going to be intense because of the sheer variety of teams we have, the different play styles, the different regions, the different experiences, and whatnot that these players, the competition that every single one of these teams bring. We have seen teams who have been long-standing giants. We are seeing teams who are up and coming and making a name for themselves, not just from South Asia, but from Southeast Asia as well. We've got Singapore, we've got Malaysia, Indonesia, so many teams and so many players to talk about and so many matches to witness live.
Yeah, and especially when your country's entire pretty much reputation is on the line, there's going to be a lot more rivalry than is there not, because you're not just fighting for your own team, you're fighting pretty much for your entire country. So in that sense, you know for a fact that the competition is going to be running on high, the competitive spirit's going to be there, and hopefully team play and coordination is going to be on point as well. Spirits are high, everyone's going to be pumped up and ready. So let's head on down over onto today's fixtures and towards the brackets, sorry ladies and gentlemen, and see exactly what teams are going to be playing. Right off the get-go, for the first initial game, we have a banger for you already. Team Exploit going up against the side of E2S Lexious. And I have to say, this first initial match really did catch my eye, personally, because we know for a fact what Team Exploit are. They're demons, and they
Yes.
have shooter, and they're the best team in Pakistan, from what we know. Well, we have
Absolutely.
seen it through the entire gauntlet as well, man. In gauntlet, these guys are juggernauts, and very few teams can deal with them. But on the other end of the spectrum, from the Maldives side, we know for a fact that E2S Lexus, they are a really strong squad for their region, but they are still trying to work out the kinks in their armor. So in a way, Team Exploit, they are known, according to my notes at least, and according to the statistics that we have on us, in other tournaments, Team Exploit did have a really good and easy run against
That
them
is
in most
true.
of their games, being on a 2-0 scoreline. But it's been a really long time since that one
A
tournament, has it not?
month.
Yeah,
It's been a month, yeah.
so E2S, they probably have completely shifted their rosters, completely shifted the way that they approach different mechanics, and just catch us by surprise.
See, that's the thing that Exploit, like you just mentioned in Gauntlet, right? They're having an excellent season. So right now, as we speak, they're fighting True Rippers for the second position in Group B. Tons of matches we've seen from them. From the side of Lexious, we haven't seen them a lot. The last time we saw them playing against Exploit, we both just talked about it. We both mentioned it. It was a month ago. So that gives E2S plenty of time to just stay there, ward review themselves, ward review their own gameplay, make changes, more specifically, do their due diligence and do their homework on Exploit and any potential future opponents that they will be facing off in the showdown. Because so many of these teams, whether they be from the Indian subcontinent, teams like Enigma, VLT, Global, etc., those teams, or it be someone or some other teams as well, they have been playing a lot more. We have been seeing them on streams, not always from the esports club, many a times here at TEC, but in other tournaments as well, we've been seeing them regularly. Thing for Lexious is they are the dark horses, in my opinion. They can overturn things. Is the majority in their favor? I would say no, being honest. I think Exploit,
Yeah.
because we have seen them. Because Shooter, dude, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, the
Because
shooter.
we have seen exactly. Because we've seen Exploit, everyone is gonna say that Exploit are favorable to win. I agree to that, but it isn't like E2S can't completely overturn that instantly, and the first match of the showdown being a complete reverse result of what everyone will be expecting. That is how you start the showdown series. But how it will actually happen, no one knows. For now, we all of us know it's going to be a very, very intense matchup. You know, we've got one of the best teams, if not the best team from Pakistan, one of not, if not the best team from Maldives. It's going to be a clash. Fans are going to be cheering for their side. Everyone will be happy because, again, it's the first match. I still can't contain my excitement. It's right here, the showdown. It was announced, the teams have been announced, and now, well, it's in front of us, only sheer minutes away from starting. But before that, we still have a lot more to talk about as well.
Yeah, we first of all need to introduce the teams now, don't we? What are these teams? Who are playing? So let's head on down over to the team intro for the side of Team Exploit, ladies and gentlemen, because personally, this team, they have done it all. They have brought something very different when it comes down to the flavoring, the way that they actually take all of these fights. Just think of it like this. They take engagements in such ways that you don't really expect. The speed at which they go in for executions and the way that Shooter just enters into a site, you're gonna be scared. It's like a literal demon walking into a church. You're like, oh, I have a holy church, I have a cross. That the demon's like, oh, I'm a greater demon. I don't even care about the cross. He just walks straight in and just slaps everyone in the face with an immediate bullet. So in that sense, Team Exploit, they're this dangerous. But at the same time, E2S, I think they also have something to say about it. So let's head on down over onto their team intro and see exactly what they're going to be up to. So CCB, take it away.
Yeah, for the side of E2S, you know, they are players we have seen. We have seen not a lot of them. Like we mentioned, for the side of Exploit, we've been seeing them constantly, regularly, consistently. For E2S, well, it's going to be, first of all, the man in front of our screens who will be head-on challenging. At least we all hope he'll be challenging Shooter head-on. That's going to be Asite right here as the primary entry fragger, as the primary person who takes those necessary engagements and dispatches opponent members like nothing we've ever seen before. Both of the teams, they've got to be fierce. They've got to be fearless as well. They've got to be, I mean, fearful to their opponents and fearless for themselves. They go into engagements, forget about everything. They focus on winning the gunfight, and I think that may be a theory and that may be a pattern we'll be noticing throughout this matchup. That teams will be focusing on winning those duels early on. Map control, utility usage, obviously that's going to play a big factor, like it always does. It is Valorant. You know, you have abilities, you have all of that. Especially, you know, we have a look at the map vetoes as well. The 3 maps you'll be seeing. Map control will play a big factor, but I think early engagements, very early engagements, I mean 10, 15 seconds into the action phase, that is going to be something very regular. That's going to be something everyone has got to be accustomed to as a viewer, as a caster, and more so as a player. You've got to be aware that at any point in the round, you can kill someone, you can find someone and, you know, take their head off, or you can be the person who will be a casualty.
Yeah, there's a high possibility, especially when you consider how aggressive the side of Team Exploit like to play in general. They have a very fast forward in the face playstyle. They don't like to go in for heavily controlled strategies unless their backs are against the wall. Then they just start slowing things down and they just turn things down a notch before just instantly turning up the heat in a matter of 2 seconds. Like, they know how to control pressure really well, and E2S, they need to be careful about that as much as they possibly can. But speaking about that, we need to know exactly where these teams are going to be taking us now, don't we? So let's head on down over to the map veto screen and see exactly what we're going to be having in store for us. Because think of it like this. Both of these teams, from what I've heard at least, are very much map dependent, but Team Exploit, they are a little bit more, let's say, experienced when it comes down to the map varieties. They have a lot of different maps that they're really strong on, but when you consider E2S, their least favorite map throughout the entirety of all their tournament games is Split statistically and from the face of the players as well. They just don't like Split. So this being their weakest map and this being one of the better maps, I would say, for Exploit, they did a really dirty move against E2S by just picking up Split right off the get-go.
That's the thing. That split, like the win percentages on attack and on defense for the side of Exploit, they're quite high. 66% win rate on attack, 58 on defense. Arguably, yeah, Exploit haven't played this map a lot. It's one of their mid-tier maps that they've played for some time, but not one of their higher played maps. Speaking of their highest played map, the map statistically which Exploit have played the most overall in recent competitive games, that is going to be the Bind. And the thing is, as we can see in front of our screens, Lexious themselves chose the map of Bind. That to me is a very, very interesting. You chose the map yourselves that your opponent has the most experience of out of the 7 map or 6 out of the 7 map pool. What is the theory behind that? Are E2S, my theory is E2S have really studied that map because it is the most played map of the side of Exploit. They are like, okay, we have tons of reference data, we have tons of streams, tons of matches against different kinds of opponents to study. Let's study and let's analyze the gameplay and let's counter strat them completely. Let's get it down to the bare bones, and no matter the smallest thing they do, let's make sure we have a hardcore reply to give back to them. If that works, then honestly it's just down to the decider map, because yeah, I'm gonna agree with you, Aggressive, right here. Split, to me, it does feel like Exploit have it in their bag. Bind can be a Pandora's box that nobody really knows unless you have opened it once, which will happen once we go into map number 2. But yeah, for now, Split is the talk of the town.
Split in general being one of the more stronger maps of Team Exploit, we're not really surprised about that. But E2S, I'm really hoping that they have a couple of strategies going up into that map, because you need to consider something. We have seen the age-old Valorant tactic all the time. Your opponent comes in for the first initial map, it's their strongest map, it's their pick, they lose out on that, and somehow your opposition just starts losing out on the other map. So in general, it's the game of Valorant. This is what always happens. Like, this is the storyline all the time. But I'm really hoping that that's not the case here, because Team Exploit, they should have it under the bag, considering the fact that this map veto in general statistically gives them the favor. They have Split, they have Bind, last being Icebox. Icebox is one of the best maps for E2S. So in that sense, they should be very comfortable if they're, and only if, they're able to get the map of Bind, which is a big if. We don't really even know if they're going to be the ones to do it. We haven't seen them play for a pretty long time. And even though they did study Team Exploit, how do we know that Team Exploit didn't change their strategies? Like, they are a team that have a very diverse strat book, and they can switch up their strategies just with a snap of a finger.
It's not just about the strategies as well. It's gonna be about the engagements, in my opinion, because sure, you can have like on the book strats and like overall strategies, but more so round by round, engagement by engagement, it's gonna come down to which team member kills their opponent. Is it going to be the team member from Exploit, or is it going to be the team member from E2S that gets the initial kill? Initial kill is going to play a big factor. We have already hyped up the rivalry between Shooter and Isite, and we are going to be seeing it live in the flesh in just another few minutes. So that can be a big factor to watch out for. If somehow, the members of E2S find a way to shut down Shooter round after round consistently, then I think it just brings them up a notch, and it gives them the necessary advantage, and it turns the cog in their favor to win those rounds. However, if Shooter does things he usually does, which is, well, get 60 kills and get 50 kills and all of that, well, then there's no stopping him, as we have seen time and time again. So that's going to be a big factor. Strategies, it's going to be important. No one's going to deny that. But every single round, everyone watching, you guys no one can take their eyes off their screens, because we have to look at who is dying. We've got to look at the kills that are happening and where they are happening, how exactly are the attacks forming as well. So that's going to be a big factor. Honestly, for me, map of Split engagements are going to matter a lot. The mid area is going to be a big doubt. Teams, are they going to be focusing using their utility? Are we going to see operator peaks left, right, center? Whatever happens, it's going to be interesting for sure. Split, I know a lot of people don't like watching the map, don't like playing the map. I am of the contrary opinion. I honestly think it's a great map. I don't know what people say, but I always have to mention it. I always have to see, every single time Split is going to be the aggressive. Just be ready. Everyone watching, be ready. I'm going to talk about how Split is a good map. But for now, we are still going to talk about how good both of these two teams are, because they have been invited to the showdown, and we will be seeing them very, very shortly.
Yeah, there is going to be a little bit more of a technical difficulty, so we're trying to fix everything up. We're trying to get the teams ready and prepped up as possible, because you got to remember something. We don't want any problems to be here. This is the first ever match of the showdown. We want things to kick off with a bang. We want the teams to be as ready as they possibly can. So just hold on for a little while longer, ladies and gentlemen. Give us the time, give the team the time as well, and just let them set up. Get them prepped up and ready. And hey, as you're waiting with us, just listening to us, why not go down in the links in the description below? Check out the processors from the side of AMD. The AMD Ryzen 9 processor just looking so good. And we, from the side of the Esports Club, are giving you a lot of good bargains as well for a lot of these different products. Some things are going in for sale as well. You don't want to miss out on any of that. And hey, if you want to support your teams, as well as keep yourself energized throughout this entire tournament, throughout the entirety of all of the brackets, get yourself a can of Red Bull, get yourself energized, scan the QR code that's going to be showing up sometimes right below me, I think. Yeah, it should be right below me. So,
No idea.
yeah,
Yeah, there it is.
yeah, you can scan the QR code, get yourself a can of Red Bull, get yourself energized, because if you just do scan the QR code, it's going to get delivered right to your doorstep. Really fast, really simple. You don't even need to call anyone. You don't need to go downstairs. That's how you have to do it. But as we are going to be talking about the squads just a little bit more, I want to highlight Split in particular and look at through my notes a little bit further, because think of it like this. Lexious, E2S, they are really strong per se when it comes down to their play styles. They have a very, let's say, control-based play style when the way that they like to take a lot of their engagements. But on Split, according to my notes at the most, they have taken out the side of Team EXO. So in a way, being able to take down EXO, it's a really massive feat, because Team Exploit, they lost out to EXO. And EXO were able to go through the entirety of the gauntlet on a flawless 7-0 scoreline. So when you think about that, E2S, they have a chance of sending this down over into 3 maps or taking a possible 2-0 themselves, because I have to say, EXO, they were the only ones to take down Exploit.
That is the main thing right now. And again, this plays into both favors. The thing is, and this is something I like, this is something I don't like, the amount of work teams put in behind the scenes. That as audience members, as public, we don't always get to see a lot. You know, I know how much work teams do, whether it be private scrims, whether it be VOD reviews, just dry runs, strats, etc., etc. They put in a lot of work. And the thing is, what is the result of all that work? Because the only way we can see those results is gonna be through tournament matches, such as right now. So for now, we can only hypothesize, and it's going to come down to the confidence of the teams themselves. How much have they prepared, and how much are they ready to take these engagements? For now, pressure, yes, it's gonna be there. It's the first map. Nobody will like to be knocked down to the lower brackets right here, right now, in map number 1, in match number 1 only. But still, it's the lower brackets. We have seen teams make miraculous runs over and over in esports entirety. You know, so many esports titles through the lower brackets. They make their way, they scratch, they fight, and they prod their way back into the grand finals, and they win. Is it unlikely? Oh, 100%. Yeah, if you're right there at the start in the lower brackets, you're gonna have a very difficult time. But it's not like it can't happen. And looking at the sheer caliber of teams individually as well, if you just look at the teams and all the team names that are associated with the showdown, well, every single one of these teams has the potential to do that. But being at a severe disadvantage, losing map number 1 right from the get-go, yeah, that's going to be very difficult. So Exploit, E2S, neither one of them are going to want to lose right now. They're going to give it their level best. And how much exactly are they ready to give? It's the start of the day, it's the afternoon. Everyone, I hope, is ready. They've caught up on sleep. If they're still not completely energized, well, oh, it pops up again. Red Bull, you can have it. Exactly. You can have it delivered and just have 1 can, and I am 100% sure it'll be enough to charge you for the entire day, and all the audience members as well. Here at the Esports Club, we've got plenty of best of 3 matches right now, a lot of action, not just in Showdown but in Gauntlet as well. So you need to be energized if you want to keep watching your favorite teams in and out throughout the days to come. But for now, yes, we are still waiting for the map to start. Still, unfortunately, a bit of difficulty going through behind the scenes. So we're still here, but that does give us more time. That does give us more time to hype up both Exploit and E2S, because honestly, they deserve the recognition. All of us have seen these players. All of us have seen these teams. They deserve all the hype around them, and they deserve to be at a higher pedestal, like the Showdown series is playing for such a high cash prize of 15 $15,000. So for that reason, right now, starting off, I think coming back to the point, split. I think we can dive a bit deeper, because as soon as the map starts, well, what's the first thing we see aggressive? We do see the agent
Agent
selection
selection.
screen. So, according to you, what's going to be the composition? Is it going to be double duelist again? Usually we don't see a lot of double duelist. Initiators are given more preference
Yep.
on this map, but because of the explosive playstyle of these teams, do you think the double duelist meta or like the composition can work?
The double duelist composition is a really strong pickup, I would say, on this map in particular. The way that you can just play around the multiple different angles, the multiple different sight lines. It is always a treat to watch when a duelist just dives into a site and just pops two people in the forehead. That's why I call Shooter a demon. He doesn't care if he's walking into a church or if he's walking into holy water. He just walks straight in and he's like, I like the pain. I was molded by it. I was built by it. And then he just taps two people and he's like, and we're the caster seeing like, why? Why do you do this? Like, you are not supposed to get away with something like that. And the same goes for CT. CT is just so explosive as a player. When he dives into a site, you can always know that he's going to take some form of presence, some form of map control before he does die out. Even if he doesn't get a kill, he gets his team inside. Two very similar playstyles, two very explosive players as duelists going up against one another. And Split is the best possible place because in my eyes, if the initiator is just perfect, and of course, on both sides, the initiators are of course perfect. Like, come on, don't give me that jazz. But if both the initiators are flawless in the way they set up their duelist, the duelists are gonna be the literal stars of the entire show. But as we are talking about the
Yeah.
side of the initiators, we know for a fact what duelists are gonna be the common plays pickups here. Jet, there's the Raze, sometimes you pick up the
Is
Reyna, but that's it. Now,
hmm.
the primary thing that I really want to highlight is actually the duelist. No, sorry, not the duelist, the initiator,
Yeah.
my bad. Yeah, the initiator is the primary thing you always want to highlight because what are the three initiators that we always see? The Sova, the Breach, and of course the Sky.
Guy.
So Breach is the most commonplace pickup throughout the entirety of Valorant on Split. If you play Split, instantly on your mind, what comes in? Breach. You want to pick up a Breach, you want to play the Breach, you want to set it up. And especially for these professional level teams where the communication is pretty much flawless in most cases. Of course, some days you're going to have bad communication, but recently, I don't know, man. I've been leaning a little bit more towards the Sova, and I think you know why. I don't know if you watched the Team Valor game from yesterday on the Gauntlet, but during the Gauntlet, he picked up a Sova and made it look so good that he got 20 assists with it and 19 kills. And I'm like, uh, maybe we've been sleeping on a Sova pick on the map of Split. It's actually pretty good.
Definitely can happen. I think it's going to be something around that because initiators, that's all that's going to matter, right? Facilitating those duelist gameplays. No matter what happens, you've got to make sure that the duelists are at the top of their game, taking engagements that in theory gives them the most advantageous duel and like the most advantageous gunfight against the opponent, whether the opponent be an attacker or they be a defender. As initiators, no matter what sort of utility you use, if you use an information bit of utility, kind of like, Sova's Owl Drone or even Sky's Trailblazer, and you get the exact, like you get visual confirmation about the location of the defender, and then your duelist can hunt them down. Or if it's something like an anti-entrenchment utility, kind of like Breach's Aftershock, where
Yep.
if the defender is sitting in a corner, especially let's focus our minds onto like the Haven part or towards like the top of B on the map of Split. So many of those corners, defenders just sit there with a Judge, with a rifle, Phantom, Vandal, no matter what it is. Inside of Haven, there are so many corners on Split. Just using the Aftershock gets rid of so many of those problems. The defenders, they're going to have to move. They will be on the run. They'll be moving. So obviously the accuracy will be depleted and it will be a bit distinguished. And then your duelist can take the gunfight. I know I'm talking about basic Valorant here, but that is basic Valorant theory. Theory versus practical, there's going to be a big example and there's going to be a big difference. And those examples are the ones I'm looking forward to seeing. Just simple, clear Valorant. In terms of theory, I don't want to see anything extravagant from these teams. I just want to see their duelists popping off. I want to see Shooter versus Asite back up. And that, to me, is going to make up this match. Theory is just going to be normal. If they play it simply, concise, and don't make a lot of mistakes, I think it's just going to come down to who kills more. That's about it.
Yeah, at this point, as the delays are getting longer and longer, seemingly because of a couple of technical difficulties, I think that mentally a lot of the teams are starting to go off put. Like normally, as soon as you start up a tournament game, you're just sitting there being like, all right, I have my mental state ready. I'm gonna dive right in. But with so many delays coming on down through, it really goes to show which team has the better preparation, mentally at least. Like I always tell you the CCP, that Valorant in general is not really a game based upon mechanics and strategies all the time. Yes, it's there, but it's also a game about mental warfare. If you can get into the heads of your opponents better than the other way, then you're gonna win. Because confidence is key whenever you're taking an engagement, whenever you're taking a duel. Doesn't matter what game you're playing, you need to have the confidence. You need to have that confidence being like, I have the biggest balls in this entire server. I'm gonna be taking that peak and I'm gonna tap you in the forehead so quickly that you're gonna be like, I'm actually hacking. But that's the case. Whichever one of these players, like whichever one of these teams are brimming with the confidence now, are going to be the ones to win. You cannot second guess yourselves. You cannot be the team that's being like, hey, maybe they're going to make a lot of mistakes. Maybe this is something. There's no maybe. There's like, you need to do it now. It needs to happen right here. Because one small bit of hesitation coming on down from them is going to cost them so many rounds, especially when you know that Team Exploit and E2S, they're known to punish a lot of their mistakes made by their opposition heavily if they're able to catch on to it. So it's all about the habits. It's all about the mentality in my eyes personally. And just as you said, that whoever clicks the more heads when it comes down to punishing their opposition should be the ones to bring it all back, should be the ones to take it all to win. And you know, on the map of Split, if you make one mistake, half your team is already dead in like 2 seconds. You snap your finger and you Thanos snap them out of existence. I didn't know there was an Infinity Gauntlet in the game of Valorant, but hey, Split is pretty much one of those things. Like, I blink for like 2 seconds and the round's already over. And I'm like, how do I analyze this? How do I break this one down? Because there's not much to do there now. What do you do? Everyone's running into side and they're all dead. Everyone's running into mid, they're dead. And then you're sitting there being like, huh. All right, so this is how strategy works.
That's why Split is your best no. But
It's
I
a
think,
roller
coming back coming back to your point of psychology as well, I think to me, what I want to highlight is going to be regeneration of, like the confidence, like rebuilding that team trust that all these teams have in them and that personal confidence after you have been knocked down a notch. No, let's take a hypothetical. No matter which team loses map number 1, whether it be Exploit, whether it be E2S, after map number 1, during the small amount of break that we have, how exactly are the teams going to regroup themselves mentally to make sure that they do not lose the edge on bind, and then they make sure they go on to Icebox and win the decider for themselves? That's also going to be a big factor. Split, it's been a month since we have seen these teams play against each other. It's been a long time. They haven't had a taste of each other in their playstyles recently at all. So this is going to come as a shock, right? This is going to be like, has something changed? What's going on? This is their playstyle. It's going to take some time to analyze their gameplay and to adapt. But map 2 rolls around, you're already well aware of your opponents. You're already well aware how they play, how their rotations, their executions, etc., etc. And then you can not only adapt, you can counter strat and so on and so forth. So it's going to be, it's going to be a lot about map number 2. But for now, Aggressive, I think the issues are over. I think we can. Yes, we will. We are going to Split. Map number 1 of the showdown is starting.
It's been a long ride. You've been stuck with us for a really long time as well. Don't really worry about it. You can get stuck with me instead of CCB. No offense, man. You know I love you. But we're finally into the game. And right off the get-go, we can see a couple of different interesting factors already coming into play. There are a couple of new faces on towards the face of Team Exploit. People that we haven't really seen, Pokemon, and then Shaker.
That is true. And, looking at the agents playing as well. Right now, we are seeing Sky as the initiator. And that's going to be interesting. No Sova, not Breach. Sky has been the one who has been gaining a lot of traction, a lot of popularity all over in Valorant in recent days. Earlier, it used to be that, Sova held the majority share. Sky and Breach. Sky was a bit above in terms of the market share than Breach, but kind of sort of equal. Now, no. Now there's a big disproportion between Sky, Sova, and Breach because Sky has been gaining more and more more, like I said, and that's going to be another example here. That's very interesting to see. On the map of Split, Sky being used, well, obviously her flashes are going to be important for the close quarter combat. I'm talking A vents, I'm talking A ramps, even towards B garage and, you know, heaven. The flashes are going to play big, and the trailblazers as well. But yeah, other than that, regrowth is also going to be good. So all over, Sky is good, but is she going to be better? Are Vixaria and Hab going to play Sky better than they would have other initiators? Well, there's only one way to find out, and that definitely is going to be jumping straight into the pistol round.
It's one of those things that you really do want to see here. And right off the get-go, the real fun already begins. Acite, this guy just walks straight into the side of the A-Main. Just tell me who's more insane than this man. He just does not care. Using a jet to go in that deep. He's ready for these fights. But Orange is around the corner as well. Should be able to go in for that first initial kill as soon as he swings out. Spots on one of the players. Not gonna be able to find that kill. And Orange, no, he missed the shots. And Shooter's gonna be the one to shut him down instead. First initial kill already happened. Shooter's gonna be good for a second. And the B-side entry is already on the cards. Thrilled. He's on the bottom side. It's gonna be a CD going in for that flank. But still, Shake is gonna be the one to spot him out and then shut him down almost immediately. Thrilled being an absolute rat. It's gonna be good for one kill. The Skyflash splashes out its own teammate, sadly. HSB's gonna be the one to take down Sarah. And then Soulmate just comes around the corner and slaps him in the face with the classic right click while jumping up and saying, yo, look, I believe I can fly, but you? I think you deserve a slap in the face instead.
What was the point, Aggressive, you were mentioning about, you know, as soon as the initial kill happens, 15 seconds later, boom, the round's over? Yeah, I think we can already see that, and it's only been the pistol round. But yeah, exactly. Exploit, their attack was really, really good. They started from a heaven, got the opening kill, and then they just took side control because there weren't enough members, there weren't enough reinforcements from Lexious to keep on holding and fending the attackers off, and soon enough, the bomb site fell entirely. So Exploit, in a pseudo-flawless manner with only one casualty, they lost the first round. They're going for the anti-eco, so I don't think Lexious are looking to win this round. They just want to dispatch as many members of their opponents as possible. Take close quarter gunfights using those classic right clicks. It has been nerfed, but honestly, I don't see a difference. The classic, I'm very confused with the classic. Okay, I have a very weird relationship with that gun. Sometimes it works, sometimes it just blows it up in my face instead of my opponents. But never mind. Right now, the only thing blowing up may just be the satchels of Raze, as Expert are looking to take map control. They're pushing towards A, and A is completely empty from Lexious. So they can take side control. They can go for a post plant. And yeah, that's going to be the situation, as still he tried pushing up. But Shaker, he gets a double before dying. That is excellent for the side of Expert to start things off. Yes, it does give a spectre to the opponents, but he has dealt more than enough damage in mid.
It's all done and dusted for them already. Especially they're in a good spot. HSB, he spots out all the players and he's like, oh ho ho, I have your phone numbers now. Poor old HSB, he's like, I'm gonna dodge the flash, but that's not the case here. Shooter's gonna be good for one. He's looking for a couple more as well, pushing on down the lines. Pokemon's gonna be the one to take down Vixaria, and Pokemon takes down the second. 0-2. Pretty strong start, but at the same time, it's kind of expected now, isn't it? It was an eco round, so what if we can do? You take 2 rounds on the board.
This I didn't completely get what Thrill was trying to do there. He pushed up, he got him completely off guard. Shaker was really watching something else, and he unfortunately missed his shots. That was unfortunate, but then again, it was like you mentioned, eco round, 1 kill here or there. Didn't really completely matter. Now it matters because E2S, they've saved up their credits, but they still won't have enough if they lose this round. You know, they've got their rifles, Phantoms, Vandals, they've got everything, but they don't have money in the bank, unlike their opponents and the attackers team Expert, who have got plenty of cash to buy for the next round. Right now, we can still see them back up with the Spectres, and this is where E2S can make the first knock. This is where they can make sure that things aren't completely going out of hand, and they can eliminate their opponents, get around for themselves, and you know, just overall be more confident in taking the duels in future rounds. Speaking of duels, well, Acite is still here towards mid, and we can see the amount of just attention being given to mid. Shooter pushes up, Pokemon gets the kill. Trades are happening left, right, and center, but Expert still managed to keep the man advantage as Shaker is right there with the Sheriff. His opponent is not, Maestro did not push, even though he had the rifle. I guess he wasn't aware. He just wants to play back in the bomb site, waiting for the attacker. Smart decision, because there are only 2 members of Lexious alive, and now he's the only one on B.
Oh no! Maestro, you didn't need to do that, man. throws out the snake bite and gets caught out by pushing soulmate. And now 0 and 3 is pretty much on the cards. On almost impossible, sorry. 1 versus 3 situation, but Thrill, he could be the only one that can actually pull this one off. Slow and Steady wins the race, but I think that he's going to save his gun instead. There's no reason why he should be going in for such a push. Maybe if he can make this Hero Vandal work, he still has full armor, just needs to buy his utility. Could help him out! But Sheikah, I think he has other plans.
Yeah, right now, I'm just gonna save that gun. Doesn't really need to put in the work. There's no risk, not a lot of... I mean, there's a lot of risk and not enough reward to combat that. So he's going to be saving the the Vandal. And he'll have full armor as well to go into the next round. Unfortunate for his teammates. I don't think they'll be as fortunate to go for this sort of a buy with full armor and Vandals. They'll be a bit on the cheaper side of things because like we talked about the economy, Lexious as a team, as a unit aren't in a good position. Exploit right now, well, they can exploit credit system however they want. They've got plenty in the bank. They can buy all of their just full buys all around as long as they make sure they keep on winning. Even though Lexious are getting that bonus round, round loss bonus, is it still enough to grant them armor and to grant them enough good guns to combat exploit head on? Because even if they are trying to combat exploit, not always is it working. So far we've seen the leaderboard and the scoreboard, and exploit are just running away with the amount of kills they have for themselves, and Lexious are quite behind when it comes to the kill differential. And for that reason, yeah, Lexious, they've got a lot of work to do, as it looks like, again, unfortunate, but a very, very short technical break will be taken as we come back to our caster cams.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a difficulty from our end, so we're going to be fixing all of that up so that the viewing experience for you guys back at home, it does not get tampered with at all. And hey, as you're waiting with us, why not check out the links down in the description below. Check out the AMD processor, see what kind of deals we have set up for you, because I need to get myself a processor. My one's overheating way too much. 3500X, it's good, but at the same time, hey, if the deals are even better down below, why not get myself a new one? I can get one, so can you, ladies and gentlemen. And hey, as you're going to be here, as you're going to be dabbling around with all of the AMD processors and seeing what suits your fancy, why not pick up a can of Red Bull as well by scanning their QR code? That's going to be showing up pretty soon, I would hope so. But other than that, as we are all energized and ready, I believe right off the get-go, with 3 rounds already being taken by Team Exploit, E2S, they're kind of sweating now, aren't they? They're in a position where, they're in a position where you could already see that they're very uncomfortable the way that they're trying to play the map of Split, and it's kind of, it's known that they're not going to be comfortable on Split. This is one of their worst maps, pretty much in general. So Team Exploit, just as I said before, they kind of just threw the entire kitchen sink in their face, and they're like, here, catch it. And E2S, they're just not able to withstand the pressure being given. It's still just 3 rounds, so we can't really say anything about them just yet. It's about the attack, it's about the defense. Give them some time to adapt. We need to see if E2S are able to adapt, or Team Exploit, they just might carry away with the momentum in their favor. But with this technical difficulty pause coming on down through, it's going to halt a lot of the momentum that Team Exploit did gain. So basically now, E2S, they have a chance of going in for a possible comeback.
Yeah, communication has got to be really strong here. So far in the defense of E2S, one thing I've noticed is early on, they're quite aggressive, but as soon as they lose a lot of members, as soon as they face casualties, they fall back. And by the term fall back, I mean they go completely into the bomb side. And the thing is, that creates such a big gap for Team Exploit to, well, pardon the pun, but well, for them to exploit. And then, just use all of that map control, all of that advantage to them, and it just grants them such a good execution. Because my favorite round as an example for this is going to be the full buy versus full buy. I believe it was round number 3, and the thing that happened was the fact right now we just saw, we'll be going back into the game, we'll be starting off at round number 4, so let's see that. But in round number 3, Lexious, they were pushing a lot towards mid. We saw the choke, and just the sheer amount of pressure as defenders they had from B heaven, from mid vents, but it resulted in sincerely nothing. Not a lot of kills. There were a few trades, but towards the end it was again a 3 versus 2 that Exploit ended up winning. And right now, look at this, 8 seconds 8 seconds into the action phase. The top fragger
dog
and the
doing?
entry fragger. Exactly. Asita is gone. Lexious
Oh!
are down to the last limbs, but Shooter dies as well. It's a 4
Tarzan.
versus 4.
Goddamn Tarzan fan. You just going in for these. Going in for the shots as well, but Shaker, no, he missed the shots. He gets a little bit too panicky. He's not gonna be the one to survive, but still no guns have been picked up just yet other than Orange. He has a gun to work with. The shots are gonna be clean. That's gonna be the first. That's gonna be the second. Pokemon's gonna be the one to take out Orange. And now it's just all about the cleanup of HBS. He has such a strong position to work with. He needs to be super careful. Don't play off of the turret. Going for that swing. And HSB just gets a baby. Oh, Big Sarah. He wants to take that fight, but that's just not going to happen. A very promising start for the side of E2S, but at the very end, it's just not what you expected now, did you?
That is true. And right now, you're yet again looking at the replay. You know, all of the angles being maintained. E2S, there was a lot of areas to attack, but unfortunately, yeah, there was so many people to defend against as well in that retake. So, couldn't work out all the kings, especially with there being a gun disparity. But hey, the gun disparity is there no more. Operator on the board. Everyone's eyes, I am 100% certain, everyone's eyes just went to that operator icon on screen. We want to see a CT play with that. Again, Shaker right now. Shaker not gonna be pushing. We have seen him be caught off guard a couple of times, but still, overall, a good performance from him in terms of his skills, and more so, his utility-wise, he's been great. But this time, no, that won't be the case. This time, the operator rules over the Phantom, and Lexious, they get the opening kill, and yet again, Asite has rotated back to heaven, not for long. Pokemon takes him down, and Shooter has to fall back behind. He's stuck in the gravity well, 31 HP, and he falls back, but not before his team faces another casualty with the removal of Sky.
I have to say that that one gravity well helped out the side of Exploit more than it saved, more than it actually helped out the side of E2S. I was so surprised, Thrill. I don't think he knows that how badly he slaved Exploit and gave them a possibility of going in for their side pick and making it work. But you know what's in the shoulder of Shooter? A showstopper with their names on it, and Shooter! Here he comes, here he goes, but no! Thrill, he didn't know who to fight, he didn't know what engagement to take, and that's gonna hurt him quite a lot. No wall though from the side of the Sage, so Pokemon is not gonna be the one to hold down the side Shaker. Holding it strong, holding it steady. No real spike plan going down just yet. Now they're going in for the plant, but the wall's gonna get dropped, and immediately they're gonna be going in for it. Shooter gets
Oh my god!
2 free kills for Shooter. He pulls out a rocket and he's like, Bibbidi Bobbidi, you are my property. Sends it in their face and sends them back home in a matter of seconds. 0-5, ladies and gentlemen. And already, the side of Exploit, they're looking really good, but I have no idea what happened in that last round at all.
That one cosmic divide, I think that's exactly what happened. Shooter had his showstopper about to expire, and right at that moment, the two defenders crossed the cosmic divide, trying to kill him. Something like that, as far as I remember. It's just so chaotic. But that's that, yeah. I mean, so far, Exploit, really. Nothing can stop them. Lexious went for another full buy. Operators, Vandals, Phantoms, full armor. It still didn't work. CT now has got to put in a lot of work as he's pushing down the corridors with his teammate. But Shooter dispatches both of them and even more. He gets another final kill. And that is going to be Lexious down to 2 men. There's someone behind Shooter. Does he spot them? His teammate surely will. Yes, he does. HSB. He gets the headshot. Shooter finishes things off. That is a 4K with 3 headshots, and that was a flawless round to grant Exploit another one in the bank.
Dude, there's a limit to how much you can just absolutely dominate your opposition. Team Exploit, they're doing things that they really shouldn't be doing now. They're rushing into sites. They're taking the fights and they're getting all the kills. They're reading E2S like an open book. And E2S, they're very confused of what they really want to do here. They're not really able to adapt because Team Exploit, they're just winning out on gunfights. It's not that their strategy is something that's based upon rocket science, something that you can anti-strat in a matter of seconds. Shooter is getting 4Ks over and over again, even when he gets double peaked. How do you counteract something like that?
Well, Lexious are trying to use the utility to counteract that we can see. You know, Cosmic Divide was there. Previously, they used the Jet's Blade Storm. Now, it's good because they're just using, like, area denial utility with the Viper Spit. That is very smart. Just not let the attackers get mid control. Good strategic decision, but now they have to follow through. Now they have to get kills. They have secured mid control. Maestro can stay there all by himself, and I don't think anyone from Exploit will try and counteract his presence. It's going to be A, and Lexious have got to be prepared. Both the duelists are rotating over, and they spot the first person, Vixeria, before dying. He gets one. The execute is right here, Soulmate. He's pushing, but Acete gets one kill before he pushes himself and dashes himself back. Maestro picks up towards mid. That's one frag for himself. That's another soul he'll take off the board of Expert, as there are only 2 members remaining.
That
And
shot.
for the side of Lexious, this works out. The operator was great, Acete was great. Maestro, though, strategically, he was the best and the most valuable player thanks to his Viper Spit chokehold on mid.
This was such a beautiful round. A very textbook round when it comes down to adapting to a lot of strategies being thrown out. By the side of Team Exploit, aim was on point as well, man. The shots were so clean. Orange has just casually flicks his wrist and he's like, sit down, boy. This is my server now. And hey, if this is where the side of Team E2S start to go in for a comeback, I see no better place. It's on the defensive side, yes. You want to have as much of a big of a buffer as you can on the defensive side of Split, because this is a very defense-favored map, but I guess it's fine. You're using a double controller, the defense should be stronger, but I think you can make it work because it's Split. The double controller can still play a lot of dividends if you do play your cards properly here. So now they're going in for another engagement, but it's whoa! He's risking it. He was risking it too much. He got way too greedy. And he pays the price for it.
Yeah, let's look at the round, and I'll talk about it later, how that's a perfect example of shutting someone down using utility. But for now, post-plan scenario, Lexious are only down 1 person. They've got plenty of guns. They've got the angles. Now, in terms of utility, well, they only have the showstopper as an ult remaining. And they can try and fend off the players of Exploit from angles. However, it's the same angle Shooter used previously to get those kills. He has been crowded from a lot of the angles, but Soulmate is there for the rescue. He's watching the backside. He almost gets 1 kill, and Soulmate will be the person finishing things off. So I'm not sure if he's the soulmate for Shooter, but he surely is his guardian angel because of the position he was holding, because of the amount of people he killed just to protect that one raise. But honestly, that isn't the highlight for me. The highlight for me was how Exploit perfectly down to the bare bones knew Acete was going to sit at the back of the side with that operator. They had, I think, they used up their Killjoy swarm grenades, they used a gravity well, and they used a raise pain shell. I think those were the 3 utilities. I could be wrong, but in my eyes, those were the 3 utilities they used, and it worked completely flawlessly. Acete had no chance escaping that. His HP was dwindling like anything. That was excellent. But now it's a new round, and already 2 kills have happened.
I question what happened to Pokemon right there. He's like, oh, I got that first initial kill. Maybe I can go out for a push. Forgets completely about Vents. But I guess it happens. It's okay. Team Exploit, they still have all their players ready, only other than the Sage. But the Sage didn't have the Resurrection available, so it's completely fine. Slow and steady. All the members of Team Exploit, they're making their way down towards the B side, but no mid control yet established, and if Shooter can sneak through the Viper's wall, this is just gonna be so perfect for it, but still, Drill, once again, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Here comes the cavalry, here comes the army, and here comes Shooter on a flank. Shooter, 3v for him, he's now looking for more. 2 versus 2 situation on the map. Soulmate needs to be the one to survive. If he does survive this, if he gets this kill as well, he's just so good. Positionally, they're in the best spots, and Shooter! Did you just play with the man's feelings like that? Come on, not Drill. Drill's been in that same position over and over again. And E2S, they're getting a little bit too predictable. And Team Exploit, they're reading into all of this.
I'm sorry, I still can't get my eyes over what just happened right now. Soulmate was right here behind the pillar. Shooter using the satchels. This is what I expect when I watch like a flights video or something. Not Shooter in a professional competitive match. Man's got 16 kills. It's only been 9 rounds. Almost maintaining an average combat score of like, sorry, not an average combat score, average damage dealt of like 200 and stuff. But oh, yeah, he increases it more. That's 17 kills for him, as within 10 seconds of the action phase, he gets the kill, and it's none other than Maestro, the Viper. So the controller, well, one of the controllers for the side of Lexious is gone. Now it's going to come down to the Astra to hold a lot of these pushes, and Astra's got the Cosmic Divide, so that can work out. But Exploit are ready for the A execute yet again, and that's the thing. Lexious, well, they have no one on A. Only now is the sky rotating over. Vixeria's holding. Vixeria is at the forefront of things, but he's only got a Sheriff. That's it. A Sheriff countering multiple Vandals and Phantoms and so much utility, that's not going to work out in the defender's favor. So reinforcements need to come out right now, and they have. But yet again, the question is it going to be enough as we go into the post-launch?
They're taking it easy. They're taking it slow, but shooter! Oh, he doesn't care. Go swing it. Come on, man. I know you don't want to take that fight. Swing it a bit harder. Do it right now. Take this double kill. He's just waiting for this engagement. Pokemon's gonna be good for one. Pokemon just casually turns its face around and then just turns back and just slaps him with it. But Orange, okay, 13 HP. But yeah, against Shaker, he just needs only one bullet to take him down. 1 and 9 on the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen. That's gonna be another round on the board going in the favor of the side of Team Exploit. And I don't know, CCV. Because it just feels as though both of these teams are evenly matched when it comes down to them going in for fights. But the main reason why Team Exploit are just able to win so much more is because it feels like there is a problem when it comes down to the trading. The trades are not coming out fast enough from all of the members of E2S. Like, whenever I look at what's happening across the map, the trade angles are there, but people are missing out on the trades from E2S, and I don't understand why. Maybe shots are being missed. Maybe they're just not ready to take the engagement. Maybe there's a overflow when it comes down to the terms of the comms.
Yeah, I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you think, yeah, comms more so to me, I was going to ask, do you think, again, like we talked about psychology, are they not, I wouldn't use the term afraid, are they like worried about like Exploit and the damage they can deal? Like, look at Exploit, they're pushing into the bomb site, like that, and Pokemon gets the opening kill. Soulmate, he gets the refrag, Shaker follows through, and before you know it, it's been 40 seconds into the action phase, Cosmic Divides have gone through, side control has been taken, there's the resurrection, Lexious are down 2 members, and they've still got to play post-spawn. So a lot of these initial kills, is it coming down to Lexious not being completely confident in their gunfights? Let's watch another kill taking place live as Maester is right there in the corner watching the Sage Wall. He pushes through, he catches someone off guard, but the trades are still very, very strong to the side of Exploit. The Seekers, they're going to give a lot of information. Vixeria, he'll be pushing, no one expects him, but Soulmate looks just in the nick of time and he gets this triple. I think Soulmate has been Mr. Consistent. I think, you know, looking at his performance, first of all, he's playing a Sentinel, so already using his utility, he is helping his team a lot. Whether it be, we just saw Swarm Grenade right here in the replay, or it be his turrets, etc, etc. But even his kill performance, even the amount of frags he's been getting, the multiple kill rounds that he has had, that is an impressive figure. Look at him, 11-1? I'm sorry, 11-1?
Well, yeah, I think that just screams consistency by itself. Shooter's been jumping around trying to kill people 24/7 while Soulmate's like running around being like, Shooter! Come back here! Come back here, boy! Stop running away from me! And then he just cleans up the scraps and he's like, fine, I'll clean up after you. Nothing to really worry about. That's how a team should be. That's how a Sentinel player should support their duelists as much as they possibly can. But Asite, he's looking for a couple of more kills. Asite just dives straight in. He wants to go and take a kill on towards the face of Shooter, but still, Pokemon, he's going to be the one to shut down one more immediately. 3 versus 4 already. And hey, remember my Thanos snapping ideology?
Yep. No, I see it. Yep.
This is why you never doubt me as an analyst here, CCB. Never.
Yeah, Thanos. I'm sure, you know, the Marvel superheroes will use your advice as well. But right now, well, there's only one advice Lexious can get for themselves. That's going to be make sure you don't lose out the gunfights. But, well, too little too late, I presume, as the first half comes to an end. And we see that in the defense, on a map like Split, E2S unfortunately have only managed a single round. So Split to me looks like an open and shot case. Exploit, yeah, they are really in the advantage right now. 17 kills for Shooter. Soulmate died this. Oh no, he got the Caster's Curse. We literally Caster's Cursed his 11 KD as he died in that round. But still, the most impressive figure we have seen so far in terms of KDA. Not that it matters, because I think for Soulmate, it's all that matters is his team making sure they win and they move on in the showdown to face off against Paper Rex, which right now they're completely in the driver's seat to do so. Pistol round is starting. The only way E2S managed to make a comeback is if they win this, then the anti-eco. There's a lot of work to do, but it has to start right now, full stop.
Think of it like this. In the last rounds, you'd expect with the double controller setup, things would be a little bit more better, but that's just not the case. Shooter on the other side of the map just pushes up and gets a freebie on towards the face of Asite. Poor old Asite didn't even know what hit him. Shooter, once again in a good position. He's just waiting. He's just chilling, trying to see if he can find something. And all the members of E2S, I think that you're right. Like the same thing that you said to me, CCV, that are they feeling the nerves? Are they nervous? And I feel that's the case. That's one of the main reasons why E2S are just losing out on so many of their rounds. They need to try and shake off that nervousness. Like Maestro here. Yeah, that's what you need to do.
Is there? Oh, right now, Shaker, he's got to deal with the bomb site all by himself, and there's so many people pressuring him. This was a great execute from E2S. They completely caught Exploit lacking right there. Only one member on the bomb site. Reinforcements are coming through. Exploit have a lot of work to do, and their positions aren't the best. Look at Maestro. He gets another before he has been traded out. 2 versus 2. Still can be done. Vixeria with the Trailblazer. He's looking chill. He spots another player. Now, does he peek? He's got 100 HP. Both members of Lexious have that luxury. Exploit, well, they don't. Shooter's gonna be peeking, and he still gets the headshot. 23 HP. He gets the kill, and look at Soulmate. Shooter. Oh my goodness. This was great. This duo has done the amount of damage these two gentlemen on our screen have done to their opponents. Impeccable. The kills, I can't put it into words. I cannot even fathom what Lexious are feeling right now. Looking at the performance both of them by themselves have had individually. I'm not even speaking like a team performance. Just Soulmate and Shooter.
I want to know, dude. This was the most questionable post-planned hold that I've seen. A player was playing from the default corner. I understand that. You have the spike plan down. Why not double up? Why not play for the trades in this fight? Instead, they just spread themselves out openly. Maybe like, you know, one up, one bottom. Like, you know, the strategy where you just play from the back end of site. One person holds from the top, one person holds from the bottom. Anything was possible there. They had the opportunity to set that up as well because no one was present, and they just took the fights one by one instead. E2S, they're making so many mistakes by being scared at poor old Asite.
Oh,
Dude, no, that's really depressing. That's more depressing than my love life right there.
When you make too many Thanos references, never mind. It's not like I'm. Never mind. No, let's not get too personal. Let's get back to the teams right now. Let's get back to Lexious because they are under a heap of pressure, and this may as well be the final round we'll be witnessing. Maestro gets a really nice kill. The crossfire being maintained is good. Had potential, but now it's all down to Vixeria. He has gotten plenty of kills so far. He has been a consistent performer for his team right now, but all by himself. Spectre running out of bullets, and his team running out of oxygen to stay alive in this game. And unfortunately for their side, that is done and dusted. Split will be taken by Exploit. They chose this map, and they very well deserve to win. 13-1, the final score.
Do we have really much more to say here at this point? Honestly speaking, this is kind of expected. We knew this was going to happen to them as well because it's split 13-1. E2S, they were just not ready for it. Team Exploit, statistically, they were the better team on this map. They picked up this map as well, but heading into Bind, I'm kind of worried. I'm really scared because that is honestly the best map of Team Exploit. And Team Exploit, they're showcasing this much confidence on the map of Split. Bind is a completely different ballpark because that is a map where they are the most confident in. That's their home turf. It's their best map in general, in my eyes, at least when it comes down to their defensive side. So E2S, they have their work cut out for them, and they need to have a massive mental reset. They need to sit down together as a squad, huddle up, and be like, boys, come close. We got this. Give each other a massive group hug, scream re if they need to, and then just lift themselves up once again. Because at this point, there's not really much to analyze now, is there, for this map? It just felt as though Team Exploit, they were just a better team. They were winning out on more of their gunfights because on paper, E2S, they knew what they needed to do. They were going in for the trades, they're going in for the fights, but the nerves were starting to act up way too much. They started making mistakes, like the crossfire angle being set up during that post-plant defensive hold on a 4 versus 2 situation, mind you. Everyone was just playing one and done angles. They were not setting up crossfires. There's no situation where the trades can happen, and Shooter was just casually walking out of corners and just slapping people in the face with a bullet. Like, I understand Shooter's a demon.
Yeah.
He's having a really good day. Like, I get that. I get it. But still, even the most amazing of players, take Tense, take Yay, they also can be taken down if you just peg them a little bit, like take them down a couple of notches by going in for double swings or maybe triple peaks and just being like, hey, sit down. This is still our server. You can't take it over just yet. There's a lot of different things you can do, and from E2S, I just didn't see any of that. And they're known to do these things as well, but the intimidation factor of Team Exploit seems to have caught up with them.
And that's the thing. I think intimidation could have been big. We talked about the last time they met in other tournaments and stuff. Sure, it may have been a month ago, but the memories are still there. The feelings in the players, I won't say the word, but the hauntings of what would have happened and what did happen in those matches would have been fresh in the minds of the players as well. That honestly, in my mind, could have played a big factor. Most likely did, but never mind. Now, like I said, theory versus practice, big difference between those two terms, right? So now the only thing that in my eyes E2S should be looking forward to is they chose the map of Bind for a reason. I'm sure that reason is something that in their team they know for a fact is strong. Use that as the mental anchor to drive yourself to victory. Do not think about anything else. Just think of them as you're going into a ranked match against random opponents and just play that. Because honestly, the more you try and slice up the play style of Exploit, the more you try to counter strat them and play like, hey, we position ourselves here and all that, it's not going to work. Just try and win the gunfights, and then you can focus on positioning and strats and counter strats, executions, retakes, blah, 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 blah. So basic thing on everyone's minds is going to be get in a gunfight, win said gunfight, and enjoy. That 3-step simple process to honestly just get an advantage against the opponents. You talked about shutting down Shooter. We saw that happening with Asite on the side of E2S. I gave an example, and that was honestly exact. That was, in my eyes, one of the best examples of how you shut down a player using utility. So now I've got to say that other than that, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, E2S, things are looking a bit ropey for them. Hopefully in this break, they can still regroup themselves and, make something out of Bind and possibly Icebox.
Yeah, because considering how Asite was getting shut down over and over and over again, I think it got to the man. Especially when you're on a Jet player. Like, I personally am a Jet main, so I know what it feels like to get shut down so heavily that you can't really do anything. And Asite is feeling that. Like, tell me one position where Asite just didn't get naded, forced out by utility. He tried to go in for pushes. Nothing worked out in his favor. Absolutely nothing. Just kept dying over and over again. And honestly, it's not even his fault. His team even couldn't save him. The plays from Exploit were just a lot more immaculate. Let's head on down over to the match highlights, ladies and gentlemen, so we can get a visual representation of what really did go wrong. Like, in general, this was just a slaughter fest. Like, honestly speaking.
Yes.
Like, you can't put it on any more of a sugary term. They took fights, they took engagements, and they just all died. There's nothing that can be said here. It happens, but at the same time, I really question what happened.
Yeah, when the score is 13-1, I think
Trill in that last round. I didn't notice this initially when it happened live, and now I notice it. I'm like, wait, what?
yeah, that really confused me as well. I'm like, what happened? Never mind. Look, again, like I said,
was that.
when the score is 13-1, everyone has to accept that, okay, this wasn't a good result. Like you said, no way to sugarcoat it. It's 13-1. A team had an advantage, had a very big advantage against their opponents, and they used it to the best of their abilities. Plain and simple, Exploit took the dub. Only thing E2S can focus on right now is going to be the next map, but we can still focus on the highlights because there were plenty of kills. Look at Asite right here from the backside. This was great, but then he was countered. This was the one round that E2S won, and it was in good fashion, but still after that the trades were happening, and Shooter right here just like sneaking up heaven, completely taking out Maestro, and then it was a 2 versus 2, and I mean, it's soulmate in Shooter. You really think they can go wrong? Overall, in a team, they can't go wrong. When they're by themselves, they can't go wrong. Soulmate and Shooter just I don't know how you counter them. You definitely can't try and kill them. But yeah, with all that being said and done, we are still going through the highlights, and so much of it is Exploit just winning duels. Another example of that. Although it was Soulmate, very tough to kill, but even when he's in a vulnerable position, he still got that shot. Pokemon still got that shot onto Maestro, who was watching him. I think you had said this live when the actual kill happened. Pokemon looked away, looked back, and still got the kill onto Viper. I'm like, how does that happen? But yeah, that was that. Unfortunate for the side of E2S, and they've got to make sure that in this case, the gunfights work well for them.
I have to say that we need to give a little bit more props towards HSB as well. That guy set up beautiful flashes, like absolutely pristine flashes to get his team into sight. The way that he flashed as well, it just showcased that, okay, we know the engagement's here. I'm going to take this fight here. I'm going to throw in my flash and immediately you're going to jump in. The communication was just on point from all of the members of Team Exploit. And Team E2S, they need to work on things, but hopefully as we are going to be getting on down. Yes.
Yeah, even Vixaria, before we go into the break, even Vixaria from the side of E2S, I think Sky, he was a big factor. Honestly, he had a good enough performance. Sometimes that did affect all of the members, but honestly, in my eyes, Vixaria was the person I was looking out for using his utility and even the kills he got from E2S.
It's gonna be a little bit more difficult as well when you consider all of the different factors coming into play, because think of it like this. Okay, the way that all the members of Team Exploit were playing, they were brimming with confidence. But what was happening towards the side of E2S, they were second guessing themselves. And you can see it when it comes down to their flashes. They were just giddy for the fights. They were a little bit off tune from one another. Like in multiple different occasions, I saw one flash come in from Vixaria. Vixaria popped the flash and it flashed his own teammate instead of flashing the enemies. Like, there's a lot of different situations like that that you don't really want to see, especially on professional level games like this. But I digress. E2S as a team, on paper, I can see that they're absolutely incredible. The first, let's say 5 or 6 or 7 rounds, you could see that, okay, they had a solid plan. They had the contingency to be like, hey, okay, we take a fight here, we take a fight here, we take a fight on towards the side of B main, and then maybe we're gonna be able to take a win. Trades were there. Trades were happening, but the main issue is as soon as they faced up against Shooter, it felt like their confidence just went down the drain. It was like a skyrocket downwards without a parachute. And there was no air resistance at all, and they were just dive bombing into the ground. That's what it felt like. The Shooter just got into their head so much, and Shooter was just, oh, this is my playground now. Split is where I live. This is the map where I am going to be the one to engage in all of our battles, and I'm going to be the one to win. I am the king here. I'm the Mafia boss. Like, it's just one round alone. That piss around when it came down to their own defensive side just told me that Shooter, he is on another level, and he's somewhere floating in the clouds. No one can take him down anymore. He swung out, and instantly, like, I honestly thought that was a running headshot, but that was a perfect counter strafe. He instantly tapped poor old Vixera in the forehead. And I'm like, my hands are up in the air. If you get you get shot down like that, then you know for a fact that the match is not going to be win. It's a GG go next. Hope for the best on Bind in CCV. You just gotta roll with the punches in this case.
At this point, you might as well. By now, okay, looking at the agent selection, something similar can be said. Double Duelist, I'm not completely sure. I did like the double controller that E2S brought out. Although it's not the traditional Astra Viper, I always say this. The traditional Astra Viper includes it is a very passive one. You can't get aggressive with it. Much like what, the members of E2S were trying to do. In this case, the aggressiveness worked. There were a couple of rounds. I think the one round that E2S won, where Maestro playing the Viper just completely, used his Viper spit in mid and shut down, blocked that area entirely. That was an excellent choice. That was honestly a great round strategically. I already talked about this. I'll still mention it. I really liked that round. But otherwise, with Astra Viper, it can be played on Vine. We have seen plenty of teams play it internationally, even in our region. Another team that is in the showdown that we will be seeing later today, Enigma. They love to play Astra Viper on Bind. We've been seeing them play that for months. They change around the other agents here and there, but Astra Viper double controller is a staple of their composition. So something like that, I think we can see Astra Viper again. On the side of E2S, yes. What exactly are Exploit gonna bring? Well, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not completely sure. Yeah, I'm not completely sure what they have in mind and what they have in store for their opponents, because again, it's the map they have the most experience on. They have tried out different compositions, they have tried out different playstyles against different opponents as well, because they have had such a wide variety of opponents in Gauntlet, other tournaments, etc. etc. They have a large sample size to pick and choose the best from, because honestly, in Showdown, you have to bring your best. You cannot do anything. Looking at the competition here, we talked about Enigma, another team. There are many teams to talk about. So you've got to make sure you do always keep on bringing your best. And that's why Exploit, I think they'll be looking to end this best of 3 right here, right now, and secure a spot against Paper Rex in the upper bracket qualifiers further down the road. But still, 2 more maps, maybe only 1 more map remaining. Bind is still going to be the talk of the town. We still have to go through it. We will be jumping into the game. Don't worry. I know everyone was really excited, was really looking forward to Split. I could see that, I could see everyone wanted to, and Split, well, Exploit delivered, and I'm very sure that not just Exploit but E2S are also going to deliver on the map of Bind as well. But still a bit of time before we can jump into that map. For now, we still have to talk about the teams. We still have to talk about what to expect next. Is it going to be another redo of the map of Split, another 13-1, 13-2 done and dusted, or the one hope I have E2S have in the bank is that they have some sort of strategy. They have some sort of idea, and for that reason they chose the map of Bind to completely counter-strat their opponents. I don't think it may completely work. They still have to win their gunfights, but I sure have confidence. That's it.
That's actually true. Because the way that the fights are being taken, the way that you want to push yourself forward as a squad, as a unit, it's just about recollecting yourself. You just got to be like, hey, we brush off the loss. It's just a kink on our armor, and just push yourself down forward. You need to become even stronger for your next initial fight, not just in the game, ladies and gentlemen, but also in life. If you get taken down a notch, you get completely humiliated, it's fine. Pick yourself back up, push yourself forward, and now all 5 members of the side of E2S, they need to do the same. 1 massive loss, it's completely fine. That was the map of Split. That was your worst map. Don't even think about it. Yes, you're going into the best map of the side of Team Exploit, but you're the ones who picked up on that map. You're the ones who have the confidence to take these engagements against them. Shooter can have the best day of his entire career, but you can take him down if you have your own confidence and if you go in for a double peak. Do not take him on a single fight. Just please don't. No matter how overconfident you are, just don't take on a man that is feeling himself that much and gets 4Ks constantly throughout your last game. It's a very crucial factor and one of the main things that a lot of different players and teams don't really understand. I understand ego is a big factor. You're a professional player. You're a Radiant. You play on the highest echelons in the game all the time. And sometimes you just need to swallow that ego and be like, hey, I need help. Accept some help from your teammates. Go in for the swings, time it properly, and be like, hey boys, 3, 2, 1. You don't even need to use your internal clock. Just say the 3, 2, 1. Communicate. Be there for one another. And in that sense, the power of friendship is going to be able to win. A very cringy and very corny thing to say, but still, hey. In Valorant, it also is the case. So, E2S, word of advice. Huddle up. Get your mojo back on. Put on your big boy pants. Take the fight, send us into map number 3, and show Exploit exactly what you're made of.
And that's the thing, and that's going to be the motivation, or like the the mentality that E2S should keep for the entirety of the tournament. Because right now, yes, there are teams stronger than them that have defeated them in the past. Not just Exploit, many names in this tournament. Again, it's a big tournament in Southeast Asia as well. So for that reason, sooner rather than later, E2S may find themselves again in a similar scenario where they may be down a map, down a best of 3, whatever, and they've got to pick themselves up and dust themselves off. Even if right now we take the hypothetical, they lose and they go in the lower brackets, then they've got to be on edge 24/7, irrespective of the round, irrespective of their opponent, map. Is it the decider, the first? Doesn't matter. You've got to be on edge, and that's just going to be applied to every single team. I think everyone watching has seen enough double air bracket scenarios to know that the lower brackets is essentially hell in disguise. You can literally put up a banner that says hell instead of lower brackets, and it will make perfect sense, because that is exactly what it is. You need every ounce of power in you, mentally and physically, to not die there and not be dragged down to the depths of hell. So With that being said and done, E2S still have a chance not to go there, still have a chance to send their opponents down there, but it is looking slimmer and slimmer the more we move on. The more we went ahead on the map of Split with 13-1 being the final score, only a single round going to E2S. Now things may be different. Now things may take a turn, but honestly, nothing can be said for certain until we jump into Bind. And that's the thing that may hint at exploit a bit as well. We've talked a lot about, of like E2S's perspective, but Experts' perspective, I don't know what they're thinking. I mean, they're obviously going to be confident. They're very happy with themselves. 13-1, you're going to be smiling cheek to cheek, but there's still going to be a bit of pressure on them. That pressure, whether it culminates into another great fight, another great one-sided win, or a defeat, maybe something in the middle, no one knows. We'll only find out once we jump into Bind. But before that, aggressive, we've been talking for some time. The teams as well need a break. I'm sure everyone watching needs a break as well. This was a great map number 1, but for now we are taking a small, very small break, and we'll be back with map number 2. Till then, stay tuned and keep watching AMD presents the Esports Club Showdown.
Get back, ladies and gentlemen, to the AMD presents the Esports Club Showdown Valorant in association with Red Bull. It's going to be your boy Aggressive back once again with CCV, my main man, the desk once more. I think that we're all ready. We're all hyped. So,
Yes.
are we going to be checking out map number 2? We are going to be in a little bit. Everything's going to get prepped up for that, and the teams are going to get ready. But for now, we had a break. We had a little bit of time to recollect ourselves. And honestly, 13-1 is not a scoreline that you want to have on your shoulders when
Yeah.
you're trying to push yourself forward now, do you? Especially when moving on to one of the better maps of your opposition. You picked it up. I get it. You're overconfident. But overconfidence could just be the death of you if you're not careful.
And the thing is, not just, picked by E2S Lexious. Everyone has seen that. It's what's written below that as well. Defense has been chosen by
Yes.
Exploit. And the thing is, you mentioned it, Aggressive, that defense is by far the strong. I mean, their defense on Bind is their strongest defense overall. And the numbers speak for themselves. This isn't just an opinion as well. Exploit have a 67.5% defensive win rate on this map. That is blowing the roof of any other map.
Above 50,
With
so
exactly 67.5 and defensive win rate I'm just talking about. I'm not even talking about attack. That's also well above 50. That's like 53% or something. 67, that's a big percentage. And the fact that they have Explode have played this map against a variety of teams from the Indian subcontinent in so many tournaments and all, we've seen them play time and time out and seen them be so good. The fact that they are going to be starting on defense, that is the main element. And let's have a look at, obviously they're going to be starting on defense. Which agents are they going to be selecting? Shooter on the Jet, not the Raze. Now, are the side of Exploit planning a double duelist? Or it looks like that, yeah, Shaker on the Raze, as a matter of fact. Shooter will be, no. So it looks like a single duelist, but why Jet? Why not Raze? That's the big question. Shooter just played Raze. It's not like he's not comfortable with the agent. More so on the map of Bind, you would prefer a Raze because of the close quarter combat abilities, using the pain shells, using the boom bot and all. But well, you know what? Shooter, whatever he does, he can do. I'm no one to doubt him. No one can doubt this man. He is locked, he is ready, and we are going to see Jet versus Jet take place yet again, just like we always want to.
Jet versus Jet combo going down through and team Exploit. They're going in for the usual composition, but for the side of E2S, they're playing a little bit more towards control. They have the Viper, they have the double controller, and it feels so the double controller is pretty much their staple pickup. And on the map of Bind, it's one of the best strategies that you can ever hope for. But Team Exploit, they're not going in for a double controller because they're a team that rely a lot more on aggressive plays. Just as I stated before, control versus aggression. So this is how both of these squads are playing. And in this case, Team Exploit and their aggression could just be the thing that tips the side of Team E2S over the edge, primarily because of one thing. Think of it like this, CCV. You're playing a double controller setup on the side of attack. So already you're at a massive disadvantage. And you're going up against the side of Exploit, who are on defense, a much more stronger side. You need to get 5 rounds. You either get 5 rounds
At
on
the
the
very
attack,
least.
or it's just gone. This just not gonna work out.
That's the thing, that right now E2S have to be on the strongest foot, and the thing is, everything is stacked against them. All the odds are against them. They don't have the map win. Statistically, Exploit are looking so good. But again, that's theory. Now we jump into the practicality of things. Now we jump into the pistol round. It'll be starting in 15 seconds. The teams are ready. They've had plenty of time over the course of this break to regroup and rethink their mentality, refresh themselves, and start to apply with whatever pressure they would like to Exploit right now on defense. And we can see that Shooter is still AFK at base. I'm not sure. Yeah, there's been a pause, so looks like a little bit of a technical difficulty. Hopefully he comes back as soon as possible. But looking for the side of Lexious, yeah, it's going to be again Astra Viper, like we talked about previously, but this is a far more aggressive. There is not a single sentinel is here. You've got a double duelist, double controller, and then you've got Sova in the mix. This is aggression leveled up to the max. Like, you can't get any more aggressive than this. Well, you can get 5 duelists, but well, that's my rank teammates know better how to do that. They're the best. Always 5. 5 duelists is the best strategy in silver. That's all I'm saying. But again,
5
jokes aside,
duelists.
right now, right now it's no time to joke. Right now, both the teams, well, they're feeling the pressure, and we are just moments away before starting. Right as when one of the players can return. But yeah, what we are seeing, what we're talking about, the comp that Lexious have in mind with a double duelist, double controller, I think it's gotta work, but they just need kills. In theory, yeah, it's extremely aggressive. Sova has got to put in a lot of work to get information to facilitate those plays that Jet and Raze will be making. If he's not able to do that, if the gunfights that Lexious are taking are already at a disadvantage, that's bad. Not to mention the fact that, you know, in Split we saw that almost the majority of the gunfights were just won by exploit. So Lexious need a big difference to help them, as Shooter has returned and we are going to be resuming round number 1.
Steady wins the race. Take the fights one at a time. Do not overcommit. Take it slow. It's like you need to hope that the members of the members of Team Exploit, they're the ones who make the mistakes here. They're the ones who sends you back a couple of notches, but
Recovering it.
Shooter, he's playing with a little bit of fire on his own accord. Going in for plays, going in for fights here, but still. Not really a lot of map control being gained from the side of the other end, but okay, good shot. Coming on down through from a CT. Tags HSB a little bit. Tags him with the 87, but still not going to be the one to go in for that kill. It's not going to be as good as you would have hoped for, but still, maybe if Shakas gets this first initial kill, that's all that he's going to need. But Shakas not going to be able to find that. The shots do not connect, but still Soulmate is going to be the one to shut down a CT.
Spike! Spike is going down. Shooter can try and get rid of it. No, the spike has been planted. Soulmate pushes in.
What?
Right click and it works. It works. The location of Thrill was also known. He dies. Both the attackers now cornered away towards U-Haul, being pressurized from so many angles. The HP not being good. Orange House, he got a double. But now it's all to
what
Big
you looking
Savior.
at,
He
bro?
played the initiative before. He was jumping around, trying to waste time. But at the end, unfortunately, the only thing that was wasted away were his health points as he died. So Team Exploit, they retake, they win, and they take round number 1 for themselves after that post-plant scenario. It was a very what's going on kind of post-plant, because the spike was planted. Yeah, let's see the replay. The spike was planted literally nowhere. The map control Lexious had was one guy in showers, one guy behind truck planting the spike, and 2 people in U-Hauls. They technically didn't have side control. They just planted the spike and hoped to play like passive post plant, which I'm not completely sure with a setup like that with no sentinel is gonna work. Where if you have like a Killjoy, maybe a Sage, I can see it kind of working using the nanoswarms and all, but with no sentinel, I don't think that was the right play. I think side control should have been prioritized a bit more.
Comes the
Placing
push towards
swamp.
that B side.
Swarm grenade
Soulmate.
out.
He has a really strong position to work with. You can see that already. Up down positions, everything's prepped up and ready. Push could be imminent at any second, but still. You gotta remember something. Just press the tab once, man. Then you're gonna see it by yourself as well. It's gonna be a force buy. Here comes the force buy, but still, poor old CJ's not gonna be able to find anything. Vixera's gonna be on towards the back, and Shooter's gonna be able to shut down one, but still, Vixera's gonna be the thing that shuts down HSB instead. He does pick up the orb, and Vixera just don't go in for this peek. Not against the Phantom Shooter. He's just waiting. He's just chilling. He knows what's up, but now, with all of the information being given away and Shaker placing down the Astral Stars, they're ready, and they don't have anything to worry about. Oh no, maybe they do. No!
He gets one! He gets 2! How does he do that? No, there's no way he can do this for himself. He's looking for the third. Goes back into U-Haul and Shooter finishes things off. The one goes
a round of
against
applause.
armor. Against armor through the wall. And he does it. He pulls it off. Hero play.
Ladies and gentlemen, just start spamming Pokemon in the chat because I think that Ash Ketchum has finally grown up. He's no longer 12 years old anymore. This man is on fire. Oh, God. Like, I seriously, that was such a beautiful flick and a half straight through the Radiant crates as well. Just shuts him down, tells him to sit down immediately. And Team Exploit, they just took the force buy round away. A round that should have gone in the favor of the side of Team E2S. Just from one incredible play.
With a ghost against armor. That's A ghost against armor, man. Even Shooter was alive in that scenario. He could have dealt damage, but no, Pokemon all by himself. And now Shooter is doing damage all by himself. He's like, you know what? I didn't get enough kills the previous round. Let me just be aggressive. Let me capitalize on my opponent's economy and thereby and just get kills left, right, and center. Orange Horse just by himself with the one classic no armor, trying to push through into hookah, isn't successful. His teammate died and his teammates are falling more so like flies by the sheriff of Shaka, and he's right there. He's falling back. He has spotted so many of them. He has played U-Hauls. In this case, he won't survive for long, but there are other members from Exploit on the side. Now, Shaka only had a sheriff. This is an automatic SMG. Spectre can deal a lot of damage, not to mention the position that Soulmate is playing in. It's a bit medium range, and he can use that Spectre to great use if his recoil control is on point, which I can never doubt Soulmate now.
It's just that good of a player. Soulmate, he gets a freebie for himself and deals a good chunk of damage on towards his opposition. Here comes the push. And he gets me. He's playing aim lab out here, man. He just flicks up and just slaps him with a 40. He's like, sit down. Come down from the sky. Do not believe you can fly. Only my birds can. 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, Team Exploit.
The headshots, my god, no, my... I get he was in air, and you know that very specific like millisecond where the person is stopped mid-air and there's no gravitation, like the gravitational pull is just about to act, and yeah, I know it was there. Exactly. But still the flick, the micro adjustment of the crosshair, that's the thing. How was he able to do that? But now, never mind, Maestro's there getting aggressive with the Phantom. Down to 27 HP, Shooter is pushing through. He flashes, he flies, and he dies. Maestro gets the opening kill of the round. So that is a good boost for the side of Lexious. Yeah, that was very, very, very aggressive. The Blade Storm, unfortunately, to no use. And now Lexious are ready to attack on the B-bomb side. They still have the Killjoy and the Sova to deal with.
Just wait. Yeah, Shooter died. It's fine. Nothing to really worry about. You don't have really good guns, but we do have a lot of utility to work with. Shots are going to be taken, and Soulmate, he's holding it down from the back end corner. Shaga, it's going in out. It's got to be good for one, but it's not going to be good for a second. Immediately get traded out, but still good chunks of damage being given already towards the side of the attackers. But still, Orange Jazz, he's just going to be turning it around with Zixera on his side. Last two kills, all that they needed to bring it all back. And sadly, it was a loss, but at the same time, it's really a sad story because it was a second bonus round for them, so they were just using the guns they had previously, and you know that Shooter, he just got way too ambitious.
Yeah, sure, that was... I think as soon as Lexious realized that Shooter's gone from A, they thought, like, in their minds, they would... Exploit would be thinking that, okay, let's rotate over to A. That's why Lexious went on B. I saw the strategy, and it did work fair enough, you know. Lexious, they executed on the bomb side. Exploit weren't aggressive. That's the thing. They weren't like actively attacking them. In the act of execution, they were preparing more for a retake kind of scenario, and it just didn't work out for the side of Exploit. That grants Lexious their first round win, but they still have a lot more work to do. Full buy versus full buy. There comes the operator. Orange Horse against Shooter. Duelist against Duelist. And he's not peeking. Orange Horse isn't peeking. We know Orange Horse has the ability to push up towards Hookah, but he loses his life. There's still a trade. Vixaria got the opening kill. It was a 4 versus 4. It was almost a 4 versus 4 before Shooter turned things yet again in his team's favor. And there's still Vixaria. He's looking. He's thinking about peeking, contemplating that decision. Now the thing is, does he make the decision or does he back off? 50 seconds on the clock.
We make a lot of regrettable life choices, but I think peeking Shooter, when he has an operator,
oh my,
I think that takes the cake. Like, I made a lot of horrible choices when it comes out of my love life. I think that Vixera made one as well here. So 3-1, ladies and gentlemen, going to the possibility of a 4-1 here. So it's not looking that good for the side of E2S now, is it? But give it some time. They just need 5 rounds, and I keep on reminding you all this, just 5 rounds. If you get 5 rounds, you're gonna have a banger of a time on the side of defense. But oh no! Soulmate! Gave him a little bit of a tickle there. Just a little bit, just a little bit. It's not like he's crying out in pain with like 5 HP left.
And that's the thing. Oh, again, there comes the execution exploit. No, they've got the man advantage and they're trying to utilize that. The turret gets the kill and Soulmate just finishes things off. Yeah, again, he doesn't need his teammate. He's got his utility and he'll be the one defusing the spike as well, even though he has his ult unlocked.
Yes, his best friend.
The turret. Yeah, we have seen plenty of lore videos where like Killjoy and her turret, the whatever the thing is, but never mind. Right now, the thing is that Lexious, they did one good thing, even though they were in a 2 versus 4, they planted the spike that gave them that slight extra boost of credits that allows them to buy, yet again, full armor majorly with the exception of Orange Horse, rifles, yet again, except for Orange Horse, everyone is looking good. But it comes down to the kill disparity. We can see Shooter, we can see Soulmate, just the 2 members we talked about in the map of Split as well. They're the same 2 members who are putting in major work. And speaking of major work, here comes the operator. Shooter has been tagged a bit. And he'll just be guarding that orb, waiting to collect it for himself if no one comes to contact it. As the attackers right now are looking to pressurize up U-Halls and take that control.
Swarm grenade out.
Try and maybe find something a little bit more dicey, but
Spike planted.
okay. Full control being given away, a good amount of damage being done as well. Shaker, he has all of his utility back in his hand. Should they just wait for it? Wait for the Astro Stars, then go in for the play. Here comes the defenders at the Killjoy lockdown. Soulmate, he's gonna try and lock down the entire side, force them down into a back-end corner. They don't know what to expect. Here comes Orange Hats, but still, no, it's not gonna work. They're gonna run it all down. Shooter, he's the difference maker, but he's not clearing out behind him. A CT, he goes in beyond. This is gonna end up horribly because Aside, he's still in the back. Aside's running around. He can be the one to defuse the spot.
Standing.
He takes out the
It's gonna be
spike
Shooter.
diffuser. It's over.
Enemy remaining.
No, Shooter
It's
just
it.
had.
Jet was a Jet and he gets it. Oh, he doesn't have time, but oh man.
It's just not gonna happen. Shooter, this guy's absolutely incredible when it comes down to his aim. But if he just killed Aside there, this round was over. He didn't know. Aside just went into the back end of it all. Then he was able to shut down the spike diffuser. Pokemon had no idea what to expect. He was just not ready for it.
How many ultimates were used in that round? There was the Killjoy lockdown, the Viper. This was a very expensive round. And Lexious, they win it, but just by the slimmest of margins. So yet again, now both the teams economically aren't doing too well. We can see half armor all round. Ultimates are going to play a big factor because now Exploit are definitely in the advantage when it comes to ults. 3 versus 1. Both the Jets have got their Blade Storms. Shooter also has the Operator, which is the equivalent of just a free kill for him. It's going to be Shooter versus a CT. And this time it's going to be a CT who gets the pre-peek, the counter strafe, and that the pre-fire was great. So very good opening for this round for the side of E2S. Lovely stuff for them. They've got the man advantage. Operator down. Top fragger gone. Another ultimate taken off the board. Soulmate now pushing through A. Even he's been shut down. And that means that E2S, well, this is just free pickings for them. The entire full buy that Exploit did, it's not looking so good now. And that 5 rounds that you were talking about aggressive, well, I think Lexious, by winning this round, they're so close to getting that. And I really think that Lexious will make sure that this attacking half doesn't go to entire waste.
Blinded.
But they still need to get through Shaker. Shaker, you're playing with fire by standing her out in the open. Maybe good for one. He's not gonna be able to fight it, but still Shaker shuts out a CD through the smoke, and poor old CD, man. He's been having such a rough
What did
day.
he do? What did he
He
do?
just, like, he didn't do anything, man. You don't punish a person for doing absolutely nothing. He's just walking
Innocent
through
bystander.
casually. Like it's like you're driving a car, you're trying to catch up to someone, and then you just run over a civilian. You're like, oh, it's fine.
What kind of driving are you doing, aggressive? No.
It's fine.
Anyways, right now, well, yeah, like we said, Lexious, they've got the round under control. Pokemon, good thing for him, he can save the Operator. And both teams economically, we've talked about it multiple times, not in the best of scenarios. Lexious, on the other hand, they are well on their way to improve. 4 people survive with the only casualty of a CT, that too in such a manner. That's fine. I think Lexious are very happy with this round. They got the opening kill, Jet versus Jet, that was good. This was one of the few times where a CT got his revenge on Shooter, and I bet that felt good for him in just getting that revenge. Now, even the other members, the execute was good, the post plan, nothing much that expert could have done because of their dwindling numbers. So with all of that being said and done, at the moment, exploit, yeah, they still have the advantage, no one's denying that, but for how long will they be able to keep that advantage? Because Lexious right now, they are on the buyback, they're on the comeback, and no one can stop them, especially with the buy that they have compared to the disparity of guns that TE have for themselves.
The fights, and you can already see the swings already present. They have the A side under their control, but still, Team Exploit, even though there's a gun disparity, I think that they're gonna be fine. Sheikah, he doesn't want to go in for a push through that smoke to try and shut him down. He's not gonna be able to find that kill, but it's completely fine. The operator had been saved in that last round, so they have that saving grace, and Sheikah has this aim to save him as well. Beautiful one tap out of one. Shooter's gonna be able to shut down another one. And even with a gun disparity, I think that they're gonna be completely fine and dandy. But still, Maestro, no one's looking at him. They're gonna be looking at him now. Maestro, he's missing out on such a crucial shot. Soulmate's gonna be coming in clutch as well. And now Shooter, he jumps out through the astral divide and just slaps another people in the body with that operator. No, Shooter, no. They have families back home, man. You don't take them down like this.
The kills, how? But the headshots.
How?
Man.
Why? How? Why? What? Daddy, what?
Exactly.
Help me.
Oh no, this is the wildest. No one can predict what's gonna happen. That's the thing. The round ago, just the round previously, we saw a 4 versus 0 at the end, favoring Lexious, and now this happens. So honestly, strategy, theory, I'm just gonna remove those words from my vocabulary and from my mind, because all that matters is which player is gonna pop off, because at the very least, there's gonna be someone just completely popping off and getting that for themselves. Just multiple kills. I don't think there's been a round where we haven't seen multiple kills from any of these 10 players happen at least once. And that's the thing. Looking at the scorecard, Shooter 15 kills, Soulmate on 7. Even the side of Lexious, yeah, we were talking about Vixaria. He's doing good for himself, 9. Orange Us as well. Acete, okay, a bit of room for improvement. But right now, Shooter yet again. Opening kill, he relocates himself towards B long. He'll be peeking there as Maestro takes down Sheikah and gets Show's control.
He's holding the corner. He's just chilling here. He's just vibing. He's like, yo, come into my crosshair. I dare you. I double dare you. But all the members of E2S, they're like, I don't want to challenge this just yet, but Pokemon man. Swing out, take it, bring it, one more. But the CD is just way too quick, but Shooter is just way better. Goes in for that immediate trade with an operator, swings out and slaps him in the face with it, and Shooter. I think I can literally write a book about this man, and it's just gonna say Shooter in like every other line. Because the way that Shooter is playing, he's an absolute god. What? And he just does not miss. His micro adjusts are on point. His reaction speed's like what, 160, like I'm pretty sure it's like 130, 120 milliseconds. The way that he's taking these engagements, the way that he's taking these shots, he is just so confident. He's like, sit down. I'm the better player here on the server. And this much confidence just bringing it.
People take human reaction benchmark test. Shooter takes inhuman reaction benchmark test because he's that good. He has to compete with bots and stuff because, man, that operator kill towards the end on Maestro, that was something else entirely. Maestro was crouching, and he wasn't a very short strafe peek. It was a wide peek as well. And still the fact that he landed the headshot, I mean, just great gameplay. We have seen these micro adjustments so many times from so many of the members on both of the teams. And every single time I see it in pro Valorant or like pro FPS gameplay, it always amazes me. It's just the precision they have. Whether they are a low DPI mouse player, like high, that doesn't matter. They land headshots is what matters. But nevertheless, now, again, timeout has been taken by the side of E2S, and for good reason it has been taken. They've got to think this through. We are going into double digits. This is going to be round number 10, and yet again, that proposition of 7-5 scoreline is a very realistic one that Lexious can deliver on and should deliver on.
Stay safe.
It's just I don't know. I really don't. What do you say towards the side of E2S at this stage, Shooter? He barely missed that shot, but no, he's not gonna miss that shake. It's Shooter! Why? Why?
What?
Shooter, stop! This is not how it was meant to be played, Shooter! He's just toying with their feelings, dude! He's just sending them home one by one! This is a tournament level game, dude! This is a professional team! You're not supposed to go up against them like this! You're supposed to show them respect, especially with an operator, but this man just doesn't care! He's going in for the style points! Absolutely
Oh my God.
no
Look at that
mercy!
fat kill.
No mercy whatsoever, Shooter! What are you on? It's an
Yeah, this
absolute
is-
animal!
I can't even. Oh my goodness, Shooter, it's just something else in. Yeah, this man. Nah, that's it, fam. He can't be stopped. Nothing fears him. He fears nothing, but everyone fears him. In this case, Pokemon, just with the rapid recoil fire, he gets the headshot before he has been traded out by the fellow Sova. So still, you know, one person taken off the either team, not too much damage. I mean, it's kind of equal. There's still damage been done in terms of utility and playstyle. But yeah, it's been 20 seconds, sorry. Shooter is still pushing through. And this gives a lot of information to the side of Exploit. They know that no one's near Fountain. They can kind of see B mid as well. So if anyone peeks that, and if no one is speaking that, like in the case right now, they can convey that the opponents are planning an A take. And that is why 3 members from Exploit are ready on A. And those are the 3 defensive members. A Sentinel and 2 controllers. Exploit are ready to deal with whatever execute Lexious have to offer right now.
He's gonna swing out!
You are
And yeah,
divided.
he's just gonna get 2
Pulling
hits.
them in.
Shake it doing Shake it things. Are we even surprised? Soulmate casually just slaps Maestro in the face and Maestro just didn't even know what hit him. He's like, oh, maybe I can just walk
30
straight into the side, but what about the side of U-Haul? They were not clearing out those angles. And they just keep on dropping like flies, and now we're looking at Thrill. Shooter, he's just jumping around. He does not care, dude.
Yeah, obviously.
Just, like, obviously, he just doesn't care. He's like, oh, I see a random Thrill in the corner. And Thrill doesn't even expect that to happen.
Thanks.
Places Astral Divide, trying to survive it, but in the end, it just didn't help at all. Another
Final
round.
of the first half.
Yeah.
Last
No, the
round
thing
before
is,
the switch.
final round of the first half, Shooter has got his Blade Storm. Not like Lexious, sorry, don't
No,
have
forget
a lot
about
of
that.
belts.
Just look at the kills. Just look at the kills.
Whatever, you know how in maths as children people always ask us what's the highest number you can think of. At first you say 1,000, then you say 100,000, then it's million, billion, all that. Yeah, the highest number I can think of is Shooter's KDA essentially. Right now he's got almost 6 is his KDA. Almost, that is insane. Yeah, Soulmate gets 1 kill. He's looking for a second, very much out in the open. This was a bit too aggressive from Exploit. And
they
the
don't
thing
care.
is, it bites them
They
in the
don't
back.
care.
They're just pushing. Yep, just full aggression. Nothing else. Pure aggression.
Oh, HSB, this is gonna be good for him. 1 for 1. It's good for a second. And HSB
Spike down
gets the spike
A.
in his control. He's looking back. He's looking front. And HSB, he's one of those players that you really want in this clutch situations. He's just that dangerous. He's gonna be the one to shut down one. But Shooter, he has something else to say about it. Going into the awaiting arms of Shaker. He's right around that corner. And then Shaker 3, 2, 1.
Send the punishments on them.
Send them back home. 9-3 on the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen. And the map of Bind, just as we expected, statistically,
But it'd be cool, oh.
the
Now
side
we're
of
here.
Team Exploit, they're just better.
Yeah. This was their defense. And they did 9-3 out of 12. I'm trying to think of like the win percentage they had, but honestly, I can't be bothered with maths right now. So I'm just gonna leave it. But look, long things shortened up. I think basic summary can be Exploit are looking good. I think I know at least that much maths. To see a 9-3 scorecard and to know that, yeah, Exploit are doing well for themselves. So Lexious have a lot of legwork to do right here. And the thing is, they're going to be on the back foot for pretty much the entirety of second half. The first half, although statistics were against them, they showed potential, especially for the 2 consecutive rounds they won. Things were looking on the up and up for them. But now it's back down to nothingness. It's back down to doing exploit things and, just getting those kills. So now a CT is going to be the one who's getting aggressive. Exploit, I don't think I'm expecting the Jet to push up right now. And this can be big. A CT is just pushing up from behind and he gets it. He gets a double. A CT was the man. He was the person to look out for. And Exploit didn't look out for him. They were watching the front and he struck the back.
Another thing. 9-3 scoreline. Come on, CCB. 9-3.
Oh boy.
The curse is
Player
there,
standing.
and it's working. If they win out on the first pistol round, maybe it's gonna happen. But Soulmate, it's something else to say about it. Got that kill on towards the face of Drill, but that's it. Maestro's gonna be the one to shut him down. And hey, they won the first round on the cursed scoreline, 9-5. And if they win out on their first ever buy round, then the curse is gonna activate, and the comeback's gonna happen for the side of Team E2S.
I saw what E2S did. 2 of their members were from the teleporter, and that's when a CT strike because everyone from Exploit, their attention was on the TP and not behind them. A very smart tactic. It's a very good distraction tactic. Again, it's the small things that count, and honestly, this was great strategically. I really like this play. It's a play we've seen a lot of times, but every single time you see it happen live, yeah, it's a euphoric feeling. But never mind. Now, anti-eco for the side of Lexious. They're just going to be holding pistols, classics, anything and everything Exploit can get for free and for the cheapest amount of money. They'll be getting as Pokemon pushes and looks to push up B long. He's in the octagon right now, just checking the corners, cutting the pie as majority of the players are entering from A shot, and Soulmate gets the kill. That's a Spectre. Vixeria tries to reply back, but look at HSB getting one more. Lexious versus Exploit. It's back to 3 versus 3.
Oh my god! Ow! This literal match has been just me saying, oh my god, over and over and over again. First it was Shooter, now it's the entire squad. It's like there's a different game happening entirely. We're not playing Valorant anymore. We're literally playing chess. Look at how the pieces are moving. And it feels like Shooter is that queen that you just cannot stop. The queen is just gobbling you up one by one, and there's nothing that your defensive pieces can do. No matter what move you make, there's always a gap in that defense. And Shooter's the one to exploit it, and now looking at their positions, they know they need to go in for a save. There's no way they're going to be able to bring this one back. They need the guns. This is going to be a thrifty.
That's the thing. Now, yeah, Lexious, what exactly are they going to try and do? They're saving those 2 guns, but only those 2 guns. This was going to be their round. They completely deserved it. But no, they have been thriftied, and Exploit get their 10th round, their double-digit round on board in the manner nobody was expecting. Let's look at the initial kill right here. Soulmate, he gets the headshot, the spray control, just not quite right there. Just missed by a few millimeters here and there, a few pixels. But then the Pokemon and his headshot, yeah. I don't know. You know how in like other FPS titles, there's always the title given to someone who is like a pistol god. And yeah, this is Pokemon right now. Like, pistols are his speciality. In the pistol round, no one can try and like counter him. Overall, he's been having a decent enough day in terms of like the amount of kills he's got like in general. But yeah, pistols is where he shines, as right now we saw. And we are seeing the Marshal of Shooter come into play. And the attack is right here from Exploit. They're using their Trailblazer. Look at the amount of utility they're expending just on getting Hookah and long control. But now it's got to turn into an execution, as that's a headshot. That's a no-scope headshot right through the toxic screen.
Going in for the plays here, but the CT is going to be good for 2. He does shut down quite a couple, but still, it's just not going to be enough. You need to check down a notch, but I don't think that's even going to help here.
Spike planted.
Drill, he doesn't even have a gun. He's going to go around, maybe try and find something. Orange has, he does have a Shori to work with, but needs to get in the close proximity engagements. He's not going to be able to find anything here. It's just about the cleanup. It's just about taking the fights. Trill gets spotted out. They know exactly where he is. They're going to clear out all the angles. Soulmate's just going to wait. He's just going to chill.
Oh.
But I think that one flash from HSB just cost him the entire round.
Enemy remaining.
HSB.
Pulling
One
bullets.
flash. Oh no. 2 bullets. Not really a lot of time. Come on. He's going to try and go for the shot, but he's just not going to be able to get it. But I think Orange has enough time. I think he does. Oh, he does. I knew
Oh
it.
my god.
All I need is spare parts.
Okay, one flash just broke this entire round into a million different pieces, and Orange has. He gets thrifty for his squad. Team Exploit. This is why you do not underestimate your opposition. You need to be very careful up till the very last second.
The shorty. Orange has got a kill with the shot. Why is it that the shorty works for everyone but me? Every time I use it is absolute garbage. But you know what? Fair play. Orange has. First, it was the thrifty, upgraded to the phantom, then the pain shells. This felt like more of that Valorant game mode where you're constantly upgrading your guns. But you know what? No matter, yeah, escalation. I was thinking of replication. I was like somewhere along the lines of that. But never mind. Right now, Team Exploit, they've got to replicate their previous results, and this is a great way. Shooter gets the opening kill, but he has been shut down by the MVP of the previous round. Vixeria still holding a very close angle. There comes the Killjoy lockdown, forcing off the defenders. Either they have to fight or they have to fly. Orange House, he chose to fight and he died.
There's not much that she could have done in that situation. Good Killjoy lockdown being placed, completely clearing out the defender side at spawn and forcing them on towards the side of heaven instead. Maestro gets a kill down on towards the face of Sheikah. And now they have the positions for themselves. 3 versus 3 situation on the map. Lamps has been cleared out, spotted out both of the players, but still they don't know about Pokemon. Oh wait, now they do know about Pokemon, and Pokemon's just gonna wait. He does have the shock darts to work with. The flashes are going to be coming on down through as well. But still, there's not really a lot of guns to work with for them now, is there? Soulmate, he's going to be good for 1. He's running out of bullets.
Oh, no.
He doesn't have enough time. That's going to be the full defuse. But it's fine. This was just an eco round for them. So just brush off the loss and be like, hey, we got 4 kills. So
That's
in general, the side of E2S, they're going to be packing.
Yeah, E2S, both the economies are in such a delicate position that the teams can't afford to experiment a lot or lose a lot of their lives, especially at this stage of the game, where you can see Exploit are just so close to, you know, winning the game. But Lexious, they still have a lot of catching up to do. 4 rounds. No armor on Thrill, half armor Maestro Site, half armor for Pokemon as well. So yeah, again, the economy isn't in the best of conditions, and the aim in this case was Site. He misses that shot. Had it landed, it could have meant a lot of significant things, but for now, it's nothing. Thrill at the back of the bomb site, behind the triple boxes, holding, fending off the attackers by any means necessary. Maestro is also behind the double boxes, and I don't think Sheikah knows about that just yet. Otherwise, he'd try to use one of his Astral Stars and Gravity Wells, but yeah, not for now. Maestro is pushing through, and Lexious, yet again, they always do this. They push through when their opponents are not expecting it. This can be big for the Viper if the Viper can get at least multiple kills for herself.
Where it all does happen is C-Day. He's going to be the first one to go in for that kill, and slowly but surely, somehow they're making it all work. They're able to take this engagement. They have the confidence. They're taking their fights proper, but Pokemon takes out Orange Ass, but he's still at the showstopper on his shoulder. Vixera's going to be the one to save out his buddy by taking out his speed. And now Maestro, he's on the massive flank. He's going to be able to shut down 2 more, and they don't have any way to control any of their shooter. He wants to go in for the spray. He wants to go in for these fights, but he's just not going to be able to. And right at the very end, they take it all down, and they send the side of Team Exploit back packing. And do you believe in it now? Come on, CCD, say it. Say it. Say it.
It's a rational possibility. Is all I'm saying for now.
Rational possibility. You have to say it.
No, not just yet. Not just yet is the curse real. Right now, I think Exploit, they've got to make sure that the one sentinel that they have, Soulmate's got to use his turrets and, you know, his nanoswarms in such a way, and his alarm bot also, in such a way that it predicts the flanks, because so far, so many times, in this round as well, it was Maestro's double kill. The thing I was hyping up for the entire round that enabled Lexious to win the entire round. Right now, a CT gets the opening kill, trying to escape. There go the Blade Storm from Shooter. Shooter's pushing through. Can he get the kill? No, he has been shut down. Vixeria gets a second. Shaker, he gets 1 for his squad, but that is all Exploit get for now, as the CT falls back. Hookah control is with Lexious, and E2S, well, they have complete control. So again, this eco of Exploit with just 1 casualty has, well, so far been shut down, and I don't think they'll be able to take any more kills because the round has died down and that surprise element is gone.
How and why and what? These are the 3 things that I want to ask. And if anyone can answer them in chat as well, please tell me. But okay, Orange has. He just got slapped a little bit there, but it's fine. Nothing to really worry about. Happens to the best of us. And Sheikah, he's going to be the one to deliver all of that punishment. But once again, Maestro, he's on the back end. He gives away his position. So his position being revealed. Things are not looking that good. And Sheikah, he gets away with murder. Gets another kill for himself. One for the Mace of Trail. But Maestro is going to be the one to shut him down almost immediately. And now Sheikah, he needs to be that difference maker with that Sheriff. But he's just not going to be able to get that one tap down. And now that's 10 and 8. And slowly but surely, they're dropping like flies. The rounds are getting closer and closer. It was what, a 10 and 4 score line, I do believe. No, sorry, it was a 10 and 3. Sorry,
Yeah.
9 and it was a 10 and 3, and then this happened.
No, it was a 9-3, then a 9-4, then a 10-4, and since then it's been on the up and up. So yeah, from a 10-4, it's now 10-8. Full buy. Exploit have got to make sure they get the best out of this, because look at the economy of E2S. It's been building and building slowly but surely. The foundation is there, and even E2S, after losing all of their members, they'll still be able to afford another round of guns and full armor. So Exploit have got to make sure that doesn't happen the best way. And even if they get guns, they can't use them as shooters in the bomb site. And he has been shut down. He was all by himself. And they're just coming one by one. Shooter then Shaker just entering by themselves. I'm not sure completely what happened here. Acete's got the AWP. He's holding down Octagon right now. Even in Hookah, there are members from Exploit. But pushing and executing here, it's going to be a very difficult job, not to mention the spike that is down in the bomb site.
That you are able to take these. It's just not really the case now, is it? But somehow, they're making it work. Just tell me honestly.
Gun here.
I called it, didn't I? I called it.
Okay, now I think I'm in a position to say it. But
Yes.
yeah, I
Join me.
think
Join me.
I think the curse is well on its way to affect Exploit. I think that may just be the case right here.
Yes. This is why you always trust in aggressive CCP. Never doubt it. When I call the curse, it's gonna happen.
You are fair enough, yeah.
I've proven this to you multiple times on a lot of different games. When I feel the curse happen, like there are a couple of criterias that you must fill, and E2S, they filled all of it. They're on a 10 and 9. They're making it all work in a CD. Wait a minute. Hello?
Oh,
Okay. Drill just slaps Shooter in the face with it. Pokemon gonna get spotted out as well. He needs to run on away, maybe just get into a better position for himself, but still the defenders, they're looking to shut him down. The spike has been planted. The attacker-sided killjoy lockdown has been placed. So Maestro, he can't really force himself up now, can he? But still, he places his toxic by so well to try and isolate this 1v1 against the side of Pokemon. But Pokemon should be in a better spot. He can easily go in for the swing, maybe go in for that kill. But no, he's just not going to be able to fight it. It's a 2 vs 3 situation. Sheikah's going to be the one to take down one. And I blame you, CCV. You started believing it. This is what happened.
oh yeah, now it's my bad. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Only one of the casters can curse it. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, the curse works like this. Both casters can't believe.
Okay. So the next
I'm making
time
up rules
for
at this point.
the next broadcast, whichever caster is on the right side of the screen, they can believe in the curse and the curse will come real. And the caster on the left side of the screen during the caster cams, they can't believe. I'll inform everyone, I'll make sure everyone is aware with this. But right now, honestly, no matter curse, no curse, to me, just performance-wise, yeah. Exploit, they get the round, but they still have a major obstacle that's going to be yet again dealing with another full buy that Lexious have to offer. Both teams only have a single ultimate, for both of them, it's going to be the Astral Cosmic Divide. So that can work up in new variations, however, nothing else, just their signature and primary secondary abilities to deal with. There comes the operator, and Azite gets the opening kill, and he falls back immediately. Not only did he get the kill onto Soulmate, he also tagged Shaker down to 70 HP and no armor. So that is great for the side of E2S. They are in a very comfortable spot early on in the round. They have a huge stronghold towards B main, and look at this repositioning. Azite gets one more. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Come on, one more, baby. Give it to him. Give this
Oh
man
my
the ace.
God.
He's looking for it, but sadly the ace is just not going to happen, and Pokemon's going to die to the hands of Orange Has. Yep, Orange Has is going to be the one to take it all away. I guess, in a way, it's a team ace. It's fine. And see, CCV, you stopped believing, and now it's working.
I can't say anything.
You stopped believing, and it's working again. Logic. Welcome to the game of Valorant and welcome to casting with
Let's
aggressive.
play some stars in this.
Really use the term logic with the chorus.
This logic.
Let's see now.
Oh, yes, I'm sure it is.
The logic of
Well,
superstition.
well, I'm not, in the great words of like Michael Scott, I'm not superstitious in curses. I'm just a little stitious. I kind of believe in them. But yeah, right now, well, for the side of E2S, they are really so close to just, getting the lead, getting match point. Perhaps, I think overtime is a very real possibility here as well. Exploit are ready to execute. CT, unlike other rounds, in this case misses his first shot, but he's got the Blade Storm. And close quarter combat is his forte. He throws the blades and he loses his life. That is very unfortunate for his team because now they have to deal with the post plant with a man disadvantage.
Yes. A little bit of an advantage. They are not in that good of positions now, are they? Orange has now. He brings it all back, being able to take down Pokemon. And with Pokemon going down, that's going to be a massive dent when it comes down to the pillar holds. But Jacob, he's just too good. Jacob just walks in and he just takes out multiple. And once again, when you started believing this is what happens, I'm going to blame you for all of this. 12 and 10 on the scorecard, ladies and gentlemen. And Team Exploit, they take it on a 12 and 10 scoreline. A really close scoreline for them, but at the same time, that last round, the main reason why they did lose out was because they got a little bit too complacent in their positions. Like, Maestro giving up the side of showers, he really shouldn't have done that, especially when Vixera was still on the drone.
That's the thing. Again, Lexious have enough confidence in them to play like, on the forefront. They aren't falling. This is a bit different than what we saw on their defense on the map of Split. On Split, they were a bit, aggressive early on, but then they fall back into the bomb side. And mainly it did not work for them. In this case, they are engaging in gunfights, and now we can see the kill difference, be a bit more like equal. There's still a big difference between the amount of kills Shooter has versus the top fragger for E2S, that's going to be Vixaria. But still, overall team performance-wise, it's been kind of equal, 18 kills, 16, 17. Yes, Exploit have a bit more kills because they have 2 extra round wins, but we cannot underestimate Lexious and their performance overall when compared to what they were doing on the map of Split. This has been a big improvement, and I sincerely hope, win or lose this best of 3, no matter what happens to their squad in this tournament, in Showdown, no matter which opponent they face off next, whether it be in the upper brackets against Paper Rex or in the lower brackets against a team that's yet to be decided, I hope they keep this confidence within them. Because if they can play like this against a team such as Exploit, arguably the best in their country, they can definitely play like this against many other teams of similar caliber from this region and from Southeast Asia all over. So, for now, just another small technical issue. Looks like one of the players is just about to come back. Hopefully he does. And yeah, we are going to be starting, which may as well be the final round, or it can be more. I'm not seeing in anything. I'm not even going to mention the curse. Nope, nothing. Shush.
One caster doesn't believe, then you know for a fact that's going to work. And now, the comeback season is in session. Acide, he's going in for the swing, and here it comes, baby. Acide, beautiful shots from this man, being able to take down the Danger Man himself. That demon is no longer in the server. He has been exorcised, but still, the other demon's going to be pushing it down through. Sheikah, he's looking for blood. He's looking for one more. If he's gonna be the one to find it, then maybe it's gonna be working. But still, they're not looking in the right direction. Vixera, he shuts out 2. It's actually working. 1 by 1, they're dropping like flies, and it's a 2 versus 5 situation already. Slow and steady wins the race here, and Maestro, freebie for him, shuts down the 4th.
Strike down A.
1 person remaining, and that's Sheikah. And Sheikah is nowhere near the spike. Everyone's gonna walk away from him.
Yeah, again, Maestro just appears out of nowhere and he just hunts down people. He's not Viper. He is playing Viper, but he's more like Yoru right now, I'm gonna be honest. His flanks are impeccable, and there's so many instances where no one expects him. Either he's really obvious with his Viper spit and then no one can counter it, or he just appears out of nowhere entirely and nothing can be done. Well, right now, all by himself, the final member standing for Exploit, and he's gonna have let's just say he's gonna have a surprise if he tries to get the spike done. He spots one of the members, he spots the second, gets 1 headshot, almost was about to get more, but Acide shuts him down. And Lexious, now this is do or die. Either they make this round and go into overtime, or they lose this round and go into the lower brackets.
Orange ass. He's taking the pause. And you know why he's taking the pause as well? The
Everyone,
nerves.
yes.
The nerves. It's acting up. The adrenaline's pumping. You can feel your blood just rushing through your entire body. You just want to jump into the game and you just want to take fights. You just want to finish this on off and show to the entire world that, hey, we can take this to an overtime. There's a possibility that we can win this. But if you let your bloodlust and your adrenaline run a little bit too high, what's going to happen? You're going to make a lot more mistakes. A lot more problems are going to start to arise. And you don't want that. Take a breather. Deep breath in, deep breath out. E2S, they have this in the bag. They can make it work. They can make it happen. Just one more final push. One more round. And they have it all.
Here.
They have every single advantage as well. Look at the buys from the side of Team Expo. They almost have nothing. Two of their members being forced onto a sheriff and a half shield while the other one plays a judge. There's only 3 guns on the other end of it all.
No
If anyone
operator?
can do it, it has to be them.
That is true. No operator though on the CT. May or may not play a big factor, but right now, well, it's going to be the Bladestorm on shooter. He's got to make the best out of this, as if he hasn't, with above 27 something kills right now. He's got to be pushing. He will be spotting the raise. He dashes away, loses a bit of the HP, but he's still on the hunt. Utility being expended like it's nothing from the side of Lexious to delay the attack as more as look at Maestro. Again, Maestro from the shadows. He can strike at any time. Soulmate. Now, is he looking out for the Viper? What exactly is he looking out for? I think he is watching the Viper, and Maestro may just take the gamble. Oh, he's waiting. He can wait as long as he wants. He spots a few members. Has he spotted them yet? No, he hasn't. He's still in the pit. And he spots, and he gets 1 kill for now.
That's just not going to be helpful now, is it? You should know for a fact that you should never push up like that, especially inside of a Viper's pit. Pokemon, he pays the ultimate price for it with his own life. I understand you're a god with that sheriff, but still, you need to take things a little bit more slower. Things are just falling apart. Mistakes are happening all over the place. And Shooter, he's not clearing his corners.
30 seconds left.
The side of Team Exploit, they're falling apart. They're making mistakes. And I believe that such a massive round disadvantage loss is starting to get to them. It's a 3 versus 5 situation. They're dropping like flies. They need a miracle here to try and win this round. 14 seconds left as well. They're walking in, but still, it's not going to be enough.
1 enemy remaining.
The spike has been
Down
dropped.
A.
Yep, that is it. Alongside the spike, the chances of Exploit taking this not in overtime goes with it. Maestro, again, a stroke of brilliance from him. Maestro has been the person. He may not have the most amount of kills, but when he does get kills, you best believe the impact and the ripples they send on the other team and their mentality. It is big. Oh, 4K for him this round. 4K as a Viper. And yet again in overtime, it's always been E2S taking these timeouts. You know, we haven't seen a single timeout from Exploit yet. Not completely sure why, but again, big thing here is gonna be the fact that E2S, well, they are on attack. We have seen them on defense so many times, and they won the majority of their rounds on defense. But now, with them being on attack, ooh, it can be a bit spicy, and can be, it can be a lot of pressure, to say the very least, heading into overtime, which again, the next X amount of rounds may just see one of these teams facing off against Paper Rex or going into the lower brackets. It's only been the first best of 3 of the Esports Club Showdown powered by AMD alongside Red Bull, and we are already in an overtime. Well, this is just a small example of how nail-bitingly intense this entire tournament is gonna be.
Trying to control my own breathing now. Trying to control my own nerves because I don't know how I feel. I really don't. These teams are just at each other's throats. Initially, I was like, oh, it's just going to be a fast 2-0. 9-3 score. Then suddenly, CCV was like, nah, it's not going to happen. 9-3. It's fine. I told you about the curse. You didn't believe in the curse.
I'm not going to
The
speak
criteria,
about it because
the criteria was met. They won the
okay,
pistol
criteria,
round.
okay.
They won the pistol round. They lost out on the eco round, I do believe, if I'm
Yes,
correct.
they
Yes,
did.
they lost on the eco round, but they did win out when it came down to the buy round. So the criteria was met. And they were able to force it down over to a 12 and 12. So in that sense, as an analyst and as a caster, I'm gonna put my legs on my table, I'm gonna lean back, I'm gonna let you take this.
Alright, well, I'm gonna let the teams take this as well. I can't predict what's gonna happen next. Neither can any of the 10 members in the server right now. It's just down to their individual performance. A minute and 15 now. Nothing has happened. On the contrary, and unlike how we see the previous rounds moving, Shooter, very passive, goes back and actually leaves B. A vulnerable state, however, Pokemon is there to pick up the shillings. As HSB is in the bomb side, he sees two members pushing in. Side control has been taken, but for no reason, because the two members in the bomb side have been shut off. The resource supply from the other teammates has been gone. They have been eliminated. Final two, the double controller, Astra and Viper alive. But look at the circumstances. It's only been 30 seconds before we saw all being a 5 versus 5, and now it's already a 2v5. Make that a flawless round. Mind you,
baby.
our soulmate with his recoil control, well, he just finishes things up. That's it, plain and simple.
Match point.
Soulmates. He's just too good. But at the same time, isn't this what we expected from the defensive side of Exploit? They know how to play that defense. Their defense is the most strenuous defense that you'll ever find throughout the entirety of all the regions. Like, I have seen Exploit being able to stop out so many fast rushes just by Soulmate playing in a corner tucked away. Like, he is a different beast entirely when he is on the defensive side, but at the same time, that's just one round. That's only the defense. The attack is where the side of Exploit are pretty much struggling the most, but after so many pauses, after such a long break, I think they have gone through a mental reset and they can bring in something a bit different. A fast push from the side of B-Long, 4 members all walking on down through, they're all walking in, and Shooter! He just gets a freebie, but still a CJ! He just goes in for the spray transfer, being able to shut down 2, immediately gets traded out by Pokemon though, good shots from him, and now Maestro. He's gonna be the one. He's going in for the swing. He gets spotted out by the turret, gives away his position. Then one more player is gonna be playing from the side of Hookah. They should know what's up. And HSB, he needs to be careful because he's in a position that he really just does not want to be in. Pokemon. He comes in. He's like casually taps
Oh my
one,
god!
Casually slaps his second. And HSB, he's like 1-2 uppercut punch straight to the face. And Maestro, he's gonna take a seat back down. 14 and 12, ladies and gentlemen. And on the first overtime, Team Exploit, they take away the win, and they're your first team to move on down forward for the AMD Presents the Esports Club Showdown Valorant.
What a performance. I mean, this was just a staggering from the side of Exploit. You know, not much can be said about this because they were just, I mean, yes, the second half, not the strongest. I'm talking in terms of like the overall performance in the best of 3. If we jog our memories back to Split, well, I mean, yeah, nothing much can be said. 13-1 goes to a 14-12. Multiple points to be talked about in the meta sense and in a micro form as well. On a more macro scale of things, it shows that E2S definitely have the potential to be one of these top tier teams, or at the very least challenge the top tier teams, and that's why the showdown is here for. They'll only have a few more chances next. If they lose their next game in the lower brackets against whoever they face off, it may as well truly be game over, but they'll have plenty of recent experience. The last time we saw them playing against high caliber teams from the Indian subcontinent was like a month ago. It's been a time, but it's good to know that they have improved in many instances. I really liked how they played Vine, and it showed why they chose this map. We were talking about how this is the most experienced map of Exploit. And yes, they take another win here, but look at the score. It's not the overall I want to look into, it's the minute details. It's how the attack of Exploit was constantly berated and just bombarded by kills, by utility, And just by sheer denial, the pistol round is a great example of that. When Maestro pushed up towards like B Link, you know what? We'll bring up the highlights and let's just go over the entire map round by round and our favorite plays from there, because that was a great example. The pistol half that happened later. This is the first pistol round which Exploit managed to win comfortably, and yeah, after that as well, the anti-eco, everything was just working in their favor very well for the first half at the very least. Oh, and this.
Let's look at how these fights are being taken. Just look at how the engagements are being done. Just so much confidence on all the members of Team Exploit when it came down to their own defensive side. And you know that would be the case regardless of whatever happened. Exploit, they're just a team that's just so good on defense. They were hitting all of their shots. And just HSB, he's just casually flicking on people. Shooter getting 22 kills on the first half. He was shut down quite heavily when it came down to the side of his own attack, but that's kind of expected because Shooter, whenever you are brimming with so much confidence, you start making a lot more mistakes now, don't you? You start being very cocky and then you just start taking swings that you really don't need to. Just look at Shooter. Like, I understand why he was being so confident. Just look at this man. He's turning around, flicking around, doing 180s and still just tapping people in the forehead. He wanted to do this on the attacking side as well, but it just did not work because all the members of E2S, they had their crossfires set up. These are the crossfires that were missing when it came down to the map of Split. It was there, but right at the very end, do you know why they lost? Because of the amount of pauses being taken. They lost all of the momentum that they gained previously on all of their previous rounds, and Team Exploit, that's the momentum break that they needed. That was the small opportunity that they required to bring in such an unorthodox play that it just shifted the meta entirely. E2S, they were way too defensive on their overtime round. Their defensive playstyle allowed Exploit to gain map control, walk into the side, casually get a kill, and just keep the ball rolling onto their court. One by one, they found the positions. One by one, they just found the kills. Communication was on point. HSB throws in flashes, and Pokemon just swings out and goes in for the kills. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Pauses are good, but then you start second-guessing yourselves. Then you overthink your strategies, and that moment of respite, that's the thing that just brings you down and sends you back home. And in this case, for the side of E2S, it's going to send them down over towards the lower brackets.
And for the side of E2S right now, yeah, I've got to agree with you there. There were multiple instances. I could see E2S were planning like a retake together. Like, they were waiting for reinforcements to come from the A bomb side. And then one guy, usually it'd be someone like Maestro playing the Viper, would attack from hooker. And then two members from like defender spawn. But it just did not work out. Now in the second half, yeah, we saw Shooter. He got that insane kill. But again, the round was a loss. Shooter is pushing back up. He gets one, trying to push, but has been shut down again. Only a 1-for-1 trade, which I think E2S would be fine with. And just the more and more rounds were being played, the more Lexious got in their own mind in a better position mentally, and obviously in a better position with the round differential and all that being considered. Orange House just getting... Orange has also putting a good performance. There was a one round where he was the MVP with that with the shorty, then the phantom, and then the pain shells. That was amazing. Even these retakes and all of the utility usage was just excellent. And Team Exploit were no match in their own attack. So Exploit have their work cut out for them. They've got some time until their next match. If they want to play Bind in their next best of 3, well, then they should surely put in a lot of work on their attacking side and making sure once they ward review, they nick out any and all mistakes that they were making earlier. That's pretty much it. For the side of E2S, well, they've got to work on Split more, in my opinion. I don't think they'll be playing Split a lot more. Exploit chose this map because they knew very well E2S were not good at it. It was one of their worst maps, and that's why they completely used that to their advantage. They capitalized on that. But for now, yeah, E2S have got to make sure that they're covered on all fronts, no matter who their next opponent is, and no matter which map they prefer.
This was such a good performance from the side of E2S. So in a way, they can pat themselves on their back and say that, hey, we tried. We made it work. We made it happen. So it's going to be completely fine and dandy. But right up till the very end, man, this was a roller coaster of a ride. Shots were being hit. Shots were being missed. Positions were being taken away. The emotion was running on high. And all of these teams, they just knew what was up. They were showcasing to us exactly why they were invited to the Esports Club Showdown. You got to remember that this place is here for you to prove your mettle, to pull up your country's flag and show to the entire region how good your country actually is. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be all that we have for you for this initial matchup. But before we do go down over onto that, let's head on down over to the map recaps and see exactly what maps were played, who were the ones to get taken out, who were the ones to win and everything, and at what score.
The
13-1,
yeah.
and then a 14-12.
The thing for
It was a
Exploit was,
storyline.
again, no matter the circumstances, they excelled on top, which is a great thing for themselves as a squad. 13-1, they were cool, calm, composed, no matter what their opponents threw at them. You know, they managed to deal with it pretty significantly. But then the 14-12, it was overtime. It was heated up to 1000 degrees, and they still managed to work through and put an excellent performance. You know, if you're calm and cool and you do excellent work, and if you're overheating and you still work very well, I mean, that to me doesn't always sound like, you know, Team Exploit. That to me sounds like a lot of the AMD Ryzen processors. Because again, the best thing about them is definitely going to be how much they can handle. You know, the mid-tier to high-end series as well, Ryzen 7s and Ryzen 9s, 5950X, 5900X, because of the Infinity Fabric. The thing is, even if they do get overheated, they can still perform at the best of their capabilities. So overclocking, all things like that. If you have such a powerful processor, which by the way you can get for such a good price, thanks to the links and the discounts in the description, you want to make the best out of that processor. And for that reason, I really think that, you know, everyone, obviously for some, you know, the Ryzen 9 series can be a bit expensive, usually not even like, they may not even need that much processing power, but that's why the Ryzen 7 series is there as well. Great bang for your buck,
Nice.
obviously. Oh, exactly. The prices as well. Everything is good, and obviously it's made by AMD. So I honestly put my heart and soul into it. But other than that, you know, putting my heart and soul into things, teams also put their heart and soul into every single match they play, especially when they're playing for a cash prize of $15,000. That's why the next matches we have as well, they're gonna be, it's gonna be another banger. As if any match isn't gonna be a banger, aggressive. Next one, I mean, yeah, everyone's looking forward to it.
We are looking forward to that one because it's going to be Enigma going up against Exili Esports, another Indian squad going up against the Bangladeshi Tyrants. Let's see who's going to be the one to bring it all back and who's going to be the one to take it all home. Don't miss that matchup because, ladies and gentlemen, here in the Esports Club, we just have a lot more action going. So make sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and also hit that notification bell to get notified when we do go live with that stream. But for now, it's going to be your boy Aggressive, joined by CCV, signing on off, and we're going to be seeing you real shortly with the AMD Presents the Esports Club Showdown Valorant after a little while.